minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a live episode of The Flash Podcast, your podcast for everyone ready to see The Flash, starring Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, aka The Flash. I'm your host, NP as always. And first of all, welcome back. It's been a little while. I know we've been kind of in and out, but it's been a crazy. 2021 has been a little bit crazy so far. But we're back. We're back with a brand new episode, and I am super excited for today's live stream because, as you know, in about a month, there's a very special movie coming out. Something we've been waiting for almost 4 years now. Zack Snyder's Justice League, and to do it properly, we want to do a really good build-up. Like, we want to lead up to the Snyder Cut the way it should be. So we're going to be doing a Man of Steel commentary today, and joining me for that is, you know her, you love her, you hear her every week on Supergirl Radio, the internet's best Supergirl podcast out there, and she's been joining me for a lot of great Snyder Cut coverage in the last couple of few months as we've been covering, the DCEU, the Snyder Cut, and so on. So it's my honor to welcome back Miss Rebecca Johnson to the Flash Podcast. Rebecca, what's up? How you doing today? How's your Saturday going so far?
Hello, doing well. I don't know if you can see, I've got my Man of Steel shirt on. It's Superman and Lois sort of in the desert. So I'm ready to go. So thank you for having me on to watch this movie with you.
Yeah, because we've talked about this for a few years now, that we wanted to watch like all the Zack Snyder movies and so on. And then, of course, when the Snyder Cut was properly announced, I thought, you know what? Wouldn't this be like a good lead up to the Snyder Cut? And now we have an official date, Thursday, March 18th, on HBO Max, only on HBO Max. You can watch the 4-hour cut of the Snyder Cut, which I guess it's a bit of a news of itself, because now, even though it was announced to be a 4-part series, it is now going to be released as a 4-hour movie. But listen, they can give me 10 hours and I wouldn't complain. So I'm really excited about it coming up. In other news, just ready to Flash. I'm trying to think. Did something happen this week?
Was there a trailer for the Flash new season?
I think there was a trailer that will be on the next episode. But I do think, however, that I'm getting an urge to hold up 8 fingers.
Oh yeah, there was also something else that happened.
Something else that happened. Well, and this is this is usually traditional, but this is still very new because of the global pandemic. We still haven't had a new season of The Flash, but the CW has officially announced that The Flash has been picked up for an 8th season. So
congrats on your show being renewed. We can't say the same.
I'm heartbroken. I wanted to throw a little bit of shade, but I'm not. So I'm not going to say this show specifically, but it is kind of shocking to me that a certain other show is still going and Supergirl isn't here for the season. I can't believe this. There won't be a season where Superman and Lois and Supergirl will be on at the same time and also meet each other, because I feel like they're going to miss each other in some ways.
Yeah, it would be neat to do a Superman and Lois and Supergirl crossover, but I guess things are what they are. So I hold no grudges. So congrats to the Flash for another season.
Well, hopefully, because I'm still hoping that Melissa and Grant will do at least one more final dynamic on screen, because it was through Barry that the car got introduced to the rest of the Arrowverse and so on.
That's right.
And I think it would just be wrong if we didn't have them together for at least one final crossover moment, especially now that they're on the same Earth. There's a lot, I love the idea that you brought it up in the crossover for Crisis that you like the idea that Kara cannot fight other people's villains, and I think that would be kind of cool. I kind of want to see Kara beat the hell out of Reverse Flash, for example.
I mean, that would be something.
Or maybe Barry going up against Spitalik. Mixie. Although Thomas Lennon? Is that his name?
Thomas Lennon. He's the second Mixie that
he is so good. The only Supergirl episode I rewatched lately is the 100th episode with him and Kara like going back and like through all these like altered timelines and so on. And like he is so like he's what I always imagine Mixie to be. Also as an imp, but I take what I get. But he's a great actor, so I hope we can see him again. But let's get to Man of Steel. I want to ask you first, Rebecca, because you and I we have a long history with this movie. This was one of the first movies I ever covered as a young aspiring journalist and so on. When I was like barely 18 and I was like writing articles like during my high school classes. But what's the earliest memory you have of Man of Steel, like leading up to like with terms of announcements or kind of like discussions about Man of Steel? Like what's the earliest memory you have of that film?
I think the very first memory is seeing the trailer. I think the first teaser trailer was, and I think there might be a little bit of an echo on our stream, so just FYI. I think that, and actually, let me see. Hang on a sec. I think the first time I ever saw anything related to Man of Steel was the teaser trailer, and I think, if I remember correctly, it came after the Dark Knight Rises. I think it was paired up with the Dark Knight Rises. So if you went to go see the Dark Knight Rises, the Man of Steel teaser trailer played before that movie. So that was the first time I saw kind of what they were doing, I think. I also remember the day that the Henry Cavill photo with him like sort of blocking the steel, like the bank vault. I remember that actually might have been the first time I saw something in relation to the Man of Steel, because I remember thinking, I don't know what I think about this. I was kind of looking at it, just kind of, because we had gone through Superman Returns, and I liked Brandon Routh in that role. So I was like, I don't know, they're recasting this new guy. I had never seen Henry Cavill in anything. And so I remember kind of just waiting to see what happened. And when I found out Zack Snyder was the director, I was like, oh, okay, I'm on board, because I had seen Watchmen. I really loved the Watchmen. So that, I think those two instances were like the first time I'd seen anything with Man of Steel.
Yeah, I remember when the day he was cast, because this was back when I was still in my big only Tom Welling should be Superman. I don't want any other Superman. But by coming to accept that we can have multiple Superman, we can all love them. But I remember because I wasn't a Zack Snyder fan. Like, I mean, I didn't hate him. I just didn't know who he was when I first heard he was going to direct the movie. So, and I remember like at first I was like, he's going to do a realistic take on Superman. Like, how do you do that? Like, I was like really confused. But also, I was young then. It was still I still hadn't really like fleshed out my sense for cinema and so on. So like I remember I remember when the Zod news broke. I remember I wrote that, and I remember like all these hints and pieces and so on. I remember that image you were talking about, like him like at the vault, and the only thing I was looking for is like, does he have red underwear or not? And it's not like to be like a dirty way, because I was generally like, is because that's armor he's wearing. Does that mean that Zack will still have the red underwear, or will it just be removed? So like I was kind of curious about that, but the cape looks so good. Like, as one of the things I hate about Superman Returns is the darker shade of blue and red. Like this doesn't fit Superman at all. So when I saw like a big ass long bright cape, red cape, I'm like, oh, we're on the right track. And I wasn't sure either much about Henry Cavill, but like as I started more interviews started coming out, and he's like, I've been a huge fan since I was a kid and all that. I'm like, and like he talked about it. He was referencing in interviews like oh, I want to do Death and Return of Superman. I want to do he's talked about all these storylines and so on, and I really really enjoyed it. And then they're seeing the cast being put together for this movie. I'm like, holy crap! Like they're like all these amazing actors, like Michael Shannon, Lawrence Fishburne, Amy Adams. I always laughed a little bit at the idea of Diane Lane being Martha Kent because she looks so young. I'm like, she doesn't look old enough to be someone's mom. And then Kevin Costner, I'm like, oh, kind of reminds me of John Schneider. So it was a great cast that was being assembled for this film, and I was so happy that we, that Warner Bros. Really like invested in a good cast, as well. I mean, as well as a great director, because I mean, I rewatched Man of Steel so many times in the last decade because. Or almost in the last decade. I know it's still a few more years to go. But also just seeing the influence that he was taking on. Maybe we can talk a little about that. So do you want to start? Because you have a little bit more than I do.
Yeah, so just before we start watching the movie here in a minute, we just thought we would talk about the comic book influences, because sometimes you hear on the internet, oh, it's not a comic book, it's not based on the comics or whatever, but that's not true. There's a lot of comic book influences that were used for Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. So the first one I would talk about is John Byrne's Man of Steel series. It's a 5-issue series. I've got the other 4 issues down there, but this was kind of the one, the first one. This is issue 1. And there's a lot that they pull from in here, sort of the Krypton origins, even the way they speak. When you hear Kellex say Lady Laura, that's something that the way they speak to each other on Krypton. So Man of Steel, John Byrne's Man of Steel series, definitely check it out. He also introduces Batman and Lois Lane. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes from the Man of Steel series. It's kind of hard, sorry. And then I would probably also point you to Superman Birthright by Mark Waid. So this was heavily influenced the movie was heavily influenced from Birthright. You get a lot of the Smallville stuff, some of the Lex Luthor stuff you see in BBS is also sort of borrowed from this. In particular, when we get to the first flight, when Superman flies, can you see it? When Superman flies in Africa, I think it is when he flies over the zebras, that's pulled directly from Birthright. And there's also a scene with Pa Kent, with Jonathan Kent, and little Clark Kent when he says, can I keep pretending to be your son? And he says, you are my son. That's pulled from Birthright as well. So definitely go pick that up if you're interested. And Andy, I think you have another book. I don't have the physical copy of this book that you're going to talk about, but I have the digital copy. So I think you have the physical copy as well. Yeah.
One of my first comic books I ever bought, or at least a collected novel or graphic novel I ever bought, was Superman Earth 1 by J. Michael Straczynski and Shane Davis. And that trilogy of book is so good, you guys. Please go pick them up. I think they might be on DC Universe Infinite now, which is, my God, what a name. It's the first time I've ever said it out loud, and it sounds so ridiculous. But like, for example, like one of the influences they draw from is, a lot of the alien technology we see in Man of Steel is kind of a little bit drawn a little bit from because this came out. When did this come out? I think it was right around, like, it was almost like a year or two before this final season of Smallville, because that's, it was kind of like, they were promoting a lot of Superman stuff during the final season. But one of the things that they pull inspiration from is, like I said, the alien technology. So, like, here is the villain's main ship. It's kind of a little bit drawn into the film, and kind of, just the kind of the more advanced looking technology, because like if you look at the Donner films, which again, love the Donner films, I love Christopher Reeve, but it is a little more simplistic, a little more traditional sci-fi in terms of like Kal-El ship, and then we have the Fortress of Solitude and so on with the crystal and so on, and so yeah, like Superman Earth 1 is a great influence, and I would also say to a degree, the Smallville series. That it was a really good like modernization of Clark Kent. Also, we do see a lot of Man of Steel actors in in the infamous Amy Adams.
Yeah, there's a lot of Smallville actors. The guy who plays Emil Hamilton on Smallville is in Man of Steel, but he doesn't play Emil Hamilton, even though Emil Hamilton is in the movie. So
they were in the same scene though. Like I think he is like like you see Emil Hamilton, then you see Emil Hamilton.
And Amy Adams was also in Smallville for one episode where she had kryptonite
smoothies.
Smoothies. That's what it was. Yeah. So,
and she was sucking like body fat out of people, and like and they put her in like this really bad fat suit, like fat suits are never.
They're
good.
not very flattering. No.
So like it was, like for me, like it was, when she was like drinking the smoothie, so and then and then when they did the whole special effects of her mouth would just go open and suck this.
Yeah, I think that's season 1's Craving. Is that right? Is that the episode that she's in? I think it's Craving.
If it's called anything other than Craving, then I'm like big miss on you, small writers. So,
I think that's right. In my heart of hearts, I feel like that's the right answer. But somebody let us know if that's wrong. But since we're kind of already talking about the movie, should we go ahead and start?
Yeah, so guys, we are going to be watching, we're going to start from the Warner Brothers logo, so you just don't know where we are at. So if you have HBO Max, or if you own a movie digitally, or if you're sitting in front of your TV right now and just watching it, you know what? Go ahead, the more the merrier. So we're going to count down from 3, and then I'm going to hit play. We're all hitting play. So
just to clarify on my end, is it 3, 2, 1, play, or is it... Okay, so 3, 2, 1, play, and then when we say play, we hit play.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, we're gonna have a good time. So guys, lean back, enjoy.
Get your popcorn.
Yeah, or your Doritos.
I have a green bowl. That's why you can't see.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. Like,
yeah, it's a green bowl, but I've got popcorn in there. I swear. So we may snack while we watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's let's see. I want to just look at the comments a little bit. We have from Everyday Geek. Smallville is still so underrated till this day. Yeah, I mean, for all the goofiness Smallville did, it did really do something really well for the Superman mythology of like doing something different, something a little bit, a refreshing take on the mythology, and just kind of just following Clark's evolution into Superman. Let's see. Kenny Carl said he has the 4K UHD version on Blu-ray. That's excellent stuff. But yeah, we're gonna get going now. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1, play. So I don't know, Andy, if you have ever thought about this, but do you think the opening titles are kind of like Batman 89's opening titles from the first Tim Burton Batman movie? Because I always felt like they were trying to sort of emulate that, where in that movie it's kind of going over the Batman symbol and it sort of reveals itself at the end. I always kind of thought it was sort of similar. I haven't seen the name in that movie in a very long time, so I would have to go back and rewatch it. But that's the clever thing with Zack, that he does pay homage to not just like other Superman stuff, but also like other films and like DC films and so on. So yeah, that sounds like something he would do. And I really love the way they did this, because it's sort of paying homage to it, but it's not exactly replicating it. And it's also introducing us to the Kryptonian world. And then, of course, like the first shot we get, I think is really interesting, is the first shot is of Laura, because their mothers in the DCEU play a very important role. So I think it's really cool that we got to start with Laura and the birth of Superman. Yeah, and Russell Crowe's Jor-El, that was inspired. He's really good in it. I mean, it's hard to beat Marlon Brando, but I think he's right up there. I think he did such a good job. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I'll say about Zack Snyder films, because I'm a big Zack Snyder fan, is that his opening sequences usually start usually with just music and visuals. There's not a lot of dialogue usually in the first couple of minutes of his films. And I think that's really smart, because it allows me at least to get invested in the story, and it gets me immersed in what's happening. I have to kind of figure out who are these people and what's happening. And that gets me kind of into the movie. And I think that's why... Well, exposition for me is like, if you get like a lot of exposition within the first couple of seconds, that's so annoying to me. So like, I love that. Yeah. And Krypton. It's really well thought out, this Krypton. Yeah. And they did a whole thing where they like created a Kryptonian language. It's not my beloved Kryptonese, which is fine. They created their own Kryptonian language, which you see here with the council on the walls and things like that. So I think that's really, really cool. They made their own Kryptonian language. So go ahead. No, I'm looking. I love the like when you look in society, like kind of wardrobe. I love that it is very like you see like very clear what is high ranked and what isn't. But just that it is so it does feel very alien. It doesn't feel like something that I would see on Earth. Right. We're not going to be wearing
the costumes that these council members have on.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely would not wear that myself. And the armor is really interesting because on Krypton they don't have superpowers, so they have to have some kind of armor. So they do wear armor underneath their what we would think is like Superman's, typical suit.
I love that. I'm looking at all the emblems right now, and like how they really went into detail. I'm still trying to for me, Zod's symbol looks like a U.
I mean, I think with the glyphs on their chest, I think I think it sort of represents who they are, because I think Feora's has more of an F looking to it, and Zod's does kind of it resembles a Z, but it's definitely different. I think they did a good job of trying to set up the world of Krypton and the language and everything. So I like that their glyphs have even with Feora, she has her own glyph, her own house. So I think that's really cool.
I love that, that just through all the stairs and all that, that Zod really tries to plead with Jor-El, and that he, you can tell, they've had this kind of banter and this complicated relationship for years and years.
Yeah, it feels like they've known each other a long time, and it feels like it's not it's not a relationship based on animosity just yet.
Oof.
And I love the use of the Kryptonian robots, because like Superman robots in the comics are very common. Like Superman, Supergirl have robots, especially like in the Silver Age. So it's cool to see the robots from the Man of Steel, the John Byrne Man of Steel series show up. They also make an appearance on Supergirl, so it's very common.
In the comics, does Clark and Kara have the same calyx, or did they have their own ones?
I think mostly Calyx, if it's in the comics, they would be at the Fortress of Solitude, like they show up on Supergirl. But mostly, I think, and a lot of times, those Calyx, and I think Keylor is in this movie, is usually just on Krypton. But if there is a Calyx, he probably would be in the Fortress.
Now, one thing that I love that Zack and the team went, that they put into detail is creating different creatures. We just see Haraka here, and I'm like, I can tell. I love that I can't tell if it's a dragon or like a big moth or whatever. I love that it's its own. It's their own thing. All of this looks like its own civilization. I'm happy that, and that's why I love Krypton, the TV show, so much, because they created their own society and their own ranks. So I'm glad that David Goyer, who created Krypton, he worked on Man of Steel. So I'm glad that he got to really use that. Everything feels very alien, very different from Earth, and I do like the creatures, because it's part of that world building of what they did for this film. And Haraka is such a champ, gets Jor-El where he needs to go. So I think that's really cool. And Jor-El actually gets a lot of hero shots, I think, in this opening sequence. Well, it's Russell Crowe, so you gotta have that. So, But you're right. I love this concept of that, in this world, children aren't born the natural way. I love that, I love that we get to see what's the name, the birthing chamber.
The Genesis chamber, I think.
The Genesis chamber, thank you. And there's the Codex, who I really hope that one day we get to see a follow-up on that being inside of Cal. I really hope there's if God allows us a Man of Steel 2, I really hope that.
Yeah, it's cool, because what Jor-El does is he basically puts the people and the heritage of Krypton inside Kal-El, and I think that's really very symbolic. He's carrying his people with him when he goes to Earth, and I think what they do with Jor-El here is very heroic and very. He's thinking forward about what he's doing. Because everything is so important with this destruction of Krypton. It's life or death at this point.
Well, what's so interesting, because I just spent 10 years of Smallville with their Jor-El, who could sometimes come off as a bit of a villain. So I love the fact that
he was a little bit of a jerk. Yeah.
Oh, he was. I mean, again, the season 3 finale, you guys. If you know what if you've seen that episode, you know what I'm talking about. But here we get to see Jor-El being a sacrificial father who really does everything to make sure that his only son gets to live and survive, but also make sure that he can carry some of Krypton's legacy with him.
Yeah. I think that's awesome, and that's very different. That's it's very
No!
unique to
They shot
Superman.
Haruka. How
I
dare
know.
they? Mm-mm.
Well, Haraka did something very heroic and brave right before the destruction of Krypton. So without Haraka, I don't think Jor-El could have
Oh.
done what he did, and I don't even know if baby Kal-El would have made it to Earth. So really, Haraka is the MVP of this film.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion. And I like what they do with Laura in this film because, like in the Donnerverse, Jor-El and Laura kind of die on Krypton, and that's sort of it. And she comes back, I think, in that universe with, correct me if I'm wrong, it's either Superman or Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, when they couldn't get Marlon Brando, they went with Laura. So she does have a little bit of a role, and in Smallville, of course, Helen Slater played Laura, and so this I thought was a great way to use her. That she's sort of the last one standing on Krypton. I love that.
Yeah, I remember when I watched the trailer and like people were figuring like who's the figure in the cloak watching the destruction. I'm like, God, good Lord, I'm gonna cry if it's Laura, because like imagine that she because Jor-El isn't there, as Cal isn't there anymore, and and the last thing she sees is her world being destroyed.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good, almost human moments that we get with Laura right here, where she, talks about her fears about Kal-El and what he's going to experience when he goes to Earth, and Jor-El actually sort of predicts BVS, about how the things that are going to happen to him. They talk about how he's going to be treated differently, and they might fear him because he's going to have powers and things like that. And so I think this, whether it was intentional or not, it sort of implanted that future story about what Kal-El is going to go through in the next film. But I love these little moments that you get with Jor-El and Laura, because they're parents. They are new parents, and they have to send their baby away.
Can you imagine a mother on Earth having to go through something like that, of like her world is about to be destroyed and she's just given birth?
Yeah. The stakes are so high. What do you think about the technology on Krypton?
I love that it's so advanced and complicated, and that it is like, again, compared to the other Superman, not just Superman movies, but other Superman stories of like how the comics draw their technology and their advanced stuff. I love that it gets to be something different and new, because that's what I wanted to just see new things with Man of Steel, and that's what we got.
Yeah, it's a fresh take. I think Zack Snyder called it Liquid Geo, and so that's sort of the concept. It's sort of liquefied, and it comes into play. That key comes into play a lot in the DCEU. So it's a very important little key that they created.
And I wanna buy it as a prop, like just have
it's really cool. Hans Zimmer's score is really good here. It's very emotional and impactful.
I just remember the days when people were so angry that they were not going to use the Donner score. I'm like, but why would they use the Donner score? This is not that same universe. It's a new Superman, so give him his own theme.
Yeah, I remember reading an interview that Zack Snyder kind of basically said, like, he made this film with the idea of, like, if you found a Superman comic under your bed and you took it out and you said, I'm going to make a movie about this. That's what he did. So, like, fresh take on the story, on the characters, on the music. So I think that's really smart, that it's its own thing.
Liquid Geo, I like that. That's because it did make me think about like something liquidy.
Yeah. Which is interesting because you don't see a lot of like water. I mean, Jor-El dives into the water of the Genesis chamber, but otherwise you don't see a lot of water on Krypton.
Here we go. Oh, one of the
that's a hero shot. Him walking through that smoke like that. Very cool. Yeah, there is a little bit of Z on Zod's glyph. I'm going to disagree with you. I think it looks Zodish.
They look. I mean, to me, it looks like a big U.
I mean, I can see that too, but I'm going to go with it. I think if you did a Z, it might be 2 on the nose. So I think maybe, and this is also, I think, based on the Kryptonian language that they created.
Okay. Well, but you're the Kryptonian expert on the network, so I just. Speed Force is my thing. Kryptonian is your thing. So
Well, the Man of Steel Kryptonian is much more difficult than Kryptonese. Kryptonese is very like it has a legend and a key, and you can match letters of the alphabet to the Kryptonian letters. But Kryptonian in this film, in this universe, is much more based on, I think, grammar and things like that. So it's a little more difficult to translate, but it's beautiful. The lettering is just beautiful.
I didn't think about this until now, but I love the fact that Jor-El gave him like a big scar. That because we see it in the prison time too, because that way we see that there's still a sign of Jor-El on Zod when he goes to see Kal-El.
Yeah, and villains for better or worse, they
need to have scars.
I mean, it does kind of, it's a way to signify that it is the sort of the bad guy. And I know there are probably stereotypes about that or whatever, but I sort of like that. I think that it's a good way to distinguish the good guy from the bad guy. And it is cool that it does carry over. Like you do see him in the present time with that still on his face. And it's sort of a reminder that he sort of loses to Jor-El, and that he probably holds that grudge a little bit that we'll see later.
The one thing I wish that Man of Steel would have given us is a little bit of the Phantom Zone. I want to see what Zack would have visually done with the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, we see a little bit of that, but it's not like, for example, with Supergirl, the movie, you see much more of the Phantom Zone there. Yeah. But we know they go in and out of the Phantom Zone, but that's all we see.
Jor-El.
This is really good how the music sort of stops. It has this big moment where Kal is shipped off, and then when Jor-El is murdered, that's a huge moment.
Where have you spent him?
But I guess Zod, in his point of view, he was trying to do the right thing according to what he was doing as a warrior and protecting his people. So I like
that was how he was raised. That it hit like that. He thinks that basically because of how he was raised, and I guess programmed, like not programmed in like a robotic sense, but like raised like mentally. This is like I need to live for my quest. I need to live for what I need to do for my people. This is what I was taught to do.
Right. And I even like this bit where he sends a ship up to try to stop baby Kal-El's ship from leaving Krypton. Like, I think that's awesome that there's even more stakes that go along with it, that they almost stop him.
Yeah.
What would that have been like if they had stopped Kal-El's ship from leaving? But yeah, I think that's what separates. What I think is so cool about Man of Steel is it's basically, in my opinion, it's a film about using Superman as a sort of a metaphor for free will. Like he's born differently. He has the ability to choose for himself. Zod and Faora have those, things that are sort of ingrained in them. But Kal can choose for himself, and I think that's a really, really unique take.
And like you see that when he's on Earth, that he could have decided for himself if he wanted to rule, but instead he realized that I want to use my existence for good.
Yeah, that makes all of Superman's choices much more heroic and sacrificial for humanity. Is that he does make those choices.
Oh my God, what a shame that he had to go destroy IHOP and stuff like that. Because
we'll get there. We'll get there for sure.
Or IHOP, I guess it was. Wait, didn't they change it back?
I still call it IHOP. I don't know what they call themselves.
Yeah.
I love this because I love this scene. Just to get back to the scene, I love that Laura has the glyph on now. She's kind of got the heroic, Superman symbol on the House of El symbol. And so I like that she gets to wear that too. It's not just a Kal or a Jor-El thing. Laura gets to wear the glyph as well. Because she's kind of a hero in this. She has to stand with the council and make sure that, consequences happen for Zod and justice is served, which is very, very much a House of El thing. They're all about, truth, justice, and the American way. And so Laura gets to see that justice is served.
Well, I guess for them, it would be truth and justice the Kryptonian way.
And the Kryptonian way, yes, sure.
So is this the Black Zero ship?
Yes. So this is kind of the ship we'll see later on in the film when I know, that's heartbreaking. Laura gets justice for the murder of her husband and what he tried to do to her son.
But she's still alone forever. So it's
okay.
Now the Phantom Zone projector, I This was so cool looking.
I think this is cool because they retain the triangle shape of like the Donner films, but they do it in such a different way. And it looks like they're going into another dimension. And I think that's really, really neat. People say there's no color in this film. Look at that color. Look at that blue and green.
There's no color. Are they
beautiful.
color blind?
It's beautiful. Look at those blue lens flares. I think are all natural. They're not like, J.J. Abrams going crazy.
Or Supergirl poster lens flare.
The CW loves a lens flare.
Yeah. Oh no, this is gonna kill me.
Yeah, this is heartbreaking. But look at that costuming. I love what she's wearing here.
Who was Wilkinson working on this film too?
That's a good question. If anybody in the chat can remember, I know I want to say Wilkinson did the costuming for this because I think he always did the Superman suit. And I love that the House of L robots are with her. She's not quite alone. She's still got the robots with her, but her family is gone. I mean, this is
again, I talked to some people that aren't like the biggest Man of Steel fans, but they always tell me that I love everything with Krypton. Like and for me, it's fantastic. Like it's like because some people would say another origin story, but like what, this is like more impactful. Like now you really get a sense of oh wow.
Yeah, I mean you actually get to see the planet explode. I mean it's gone. Krypton is gone. Yeah, it's beautiful the way that coloring is in space and the composition. Oh, and I love these rings here.
Yeah.
You get to see we're getting close to Earth because that looks like Saturn to me. So it's really neat to see his ship go through just the emptiness of space like that.
Exactly.
Look at that color. Those blues are beautiful.
What? There's no color. Screw
beautiful. Them. It's so good because the contrast of the white and the black of space, it really makes that blue stand out. Were you surprised just as we get here? Were you surprised that they didn't show like Martha?
No, I was about to ask you.
Yeah,
same thing. Like I think this was genius. So.
Me too. I do too.
Because I don't because for me, and maybe I'm being selfish now as a Superman fan. Like I know Jonathan and Mark will find him. They'll be like, oh my god, he can lift a truck, and and then he has all these difficulties. But I kind of like the fact that we get it. He is going to be alone, and I love the fact that we now see him at. This is probably not what he wanted to do with his life, but he's still using his abilities.
You don't think he aspired to be a fisherman his whole life?
No. I don't think he... Oh.
And people say Clark or Superman doesn't save anybody in this film. And like right after he's introduced, he saves somebody.
Although I still want Zack to explain one day like how Clark can grow a beard.
Yeah, I think that would be something that would be fun to see later on. I mean, obviously he would have to deal with that,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like angry that he has one. I'm just like because I know that
more context. You just want an explanation. That's fair.
Forget them; they're dead. And Clark is like, "Hold my beer."
Not today. Not on my watch.
Oh.
And I love the little detail. I mean, we all love shirtless Henry Cavill.
Yes.
But I love the little detail that he swims there and like just everything is so crazy that he loses part of his clothes.
Do you know who that is, Rebecca?
One of those is somebody from Smallville, right?
No, that's Zod from Supergirl.
That's what it is. I knew it was somebody on one of the Superman family shows and I couldn't remember. That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, Mark Gibson.
I am ashamed of myself that I got that wrong. Shame on me.
It's okay. I mean, this is, I'm just a little bit faster and remembering things.
Hey, hold up. We all know Supergirl's faster than the Flash.
She is.
It's an established fact. She's also, in the comics, stronger and faster than Superman. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, I don't know why people get so angry about it because I'm like, she has lived longer than Kal-El. Of course she would be stronger.
But speaking of strength, Clark gets to show off his strength here, and he's not quite like he's not overpowered at this point. He still struggles with saving the people from the oil rig.
Well, it's one of the things like he's not stretching those muscles all the time. Like he's trying to live a normal life, so like
he hasn't tested his limits yet.
Yeah,
like Jor-El tells him to later.
Oh, and we will. Oh my! See now, wasn't there a theory about this that Aquaman somehow saved him?
Yeah, a lot of people had a sort of a fan theory about that. I don't know if I can't remember now if Zack Snyder or like James Wan ever talked about it. I mean, I think you could probably insert something into your headcanon. I just like the idea that he fell into the water and he got himself out. I'm okay with that too.
Oh my god, poor Clark.
This little Clark is so cute.
He's so cute. And like, oh my, can you imagine having all those senses going off?
To see somebody's skeleton would be terrifying, especially as a child.
Oh my god, the heart. Oh,
that's scary.
I forget that. I forget that.
Yeah. And he's so different from the other kids in his class. I love that shot where it goes over the listen word. I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. It's such a simple shot, but it means something because it's
connected to the key thing later when Martha shows up and says, listen to the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
Make the world small.
Yeah. That's what I love about Zack's movies is that all the shots mean something. You know, all the shots have a purpose. He doesn't do anything without any thought to it.
Oh, you should not have called her.
Yeah, I mean, little Clark hasn't learned to control his.
And there we have her, Diane Lane.
I love that little Clark is wearing flannel. Just like
it would be wrong if he didn't.
A Smallville farm boy, Clark Kent.
Yeah,
it's a nice touch. Oh, he's so cute.
To make it small.
Well, he would feel, isolated from the rest of his classmates. He's so different from them.
Yeah, like who would be? No one would be able to relate.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine like you can who gonna call you? I mean, you can call your mom, but in this case, your mom is Earth. She's a human. So
yeah,
she would never hear any of those things.
Yeah, she wouldn't even fully understand. But you talk about young Diane Lane. I can totally buy her as this age, and then when she gets older later, like she's able to pull off both of those looks.
Aww.
That's great. Oh, I love Diane Lane as Martha Kent so much.
I do too. I wonder if she would look a little older in the Snyder Cut, because there we go, because that's what people may think.
Because of the whale and some of the sea creatures. I think she would be the same age, maybe a couple months later after BBS, so she wouldn't have to age up too much. I love the shots. Zack Snyder uses a lot of shots of like birds flying and butterflies, all these things that can fly. And I like that because it's a subtle nod to Clark. I remember Terry Hatcher saying something when she saw Man of Steel about Henry Cavill's physique. She was really impressed, and I remember thinking that was so funny that Terry Hatcher mentioned that.
I mean, she has good taste.
She does have good taste, and we do get his full physique here in these shots. He's going to pick up some clothes to put them on. I know a lot of people think it's controversial that he grabs like donation clothes that are supposed to go for people who need them, but
Clark has no money. He has no money. What are you supposed to do?
He's in that category. He's somebody who needs the clothes. So
my God, what are people not slamming this film for?
I don't have a problem with it. He's someone in need, and that would have gone to somebody just like him. So I'm fine with it. I normally wouldn't be okay with like just a random song inserted into this, but I kind of like the use of this song here. Getting into this time period. How did you think that they did with Lana and Pete? I know you're a big Smallville fan.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that they kind of cast like classic, because I think Pete in the comic is red haired. He's a ginger, and then we have Lana. I mean, as kind of the only kid that would understand Clark.
Yeah.
For me, I still love the fact because I watched Teen Wolf, and this kid who plays young Clark Kent, Dylan Sprayberry, he becomes a big character on Teen Wolf.
Right.
But also he looks a lot like Henry Cavill as a young kid. So
yeah, he's really good in this part too. And I like the mention of the dig about his girlfriend, talking about Clark and Lana. I think that's a nice little Easter egg. Because they don't show them like dating or anything, but you can get the sense of them having a close relationship.
Yeah, but the thing is that I love that he and Pete become good friends later on.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about this characterization is that he doesn't just save the bus full of kids, which is awesome, and I love the use of the music here, but he saves the bully. And he does that a lot in these Zack Snyder films. He's a Superman who saves the bully. He doesn't just save the
Yeah.
people who like him; he saves the people who hate him.
But my God, if only he was smiling more.
I mean, he should smile when everything is terrible. Just
Yeah.
smile all the time. But I love this. Like, you get the sense like Lana knows there's something different about him, but she's probably somebody who could keep a secret. And I think these kids I remember seeing behind the scenes footage. They actually put these kids in a bus and didn't fully drown them, but it was a very practical effect. So
But one of them is he's a Superman villain from the comics. What's his name? What? Oh my God! What is his name?
Are you talking about the character that was in the pilot of Smallville?
No. Not Whitney. No, it's actually
I know who you're talking about, but I'm blanking at this point.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a tab.
But there is an Easter egg, I think, to him as well.
I remember when they saw in the trailer when you hear the woman say she saw what Clark did. Everyone thought it was another tool, like Conduit.
That's exactly.
Kenny Braverman is in this thing somewhere.
Yeah, I think Conduit appears in early Smallville. I think he's in one of the Smallville episodes.
Good Lord! This moment that became such a big deal. Where it's like, but like, of course, Jonathan would say that. I would have said it too if I had a kid who could do all of this.
Well, he's being real with Clark. He's not saying that everything's going to be easy. Everything for him, Clark has a lot of again, this film is all about free will and choices. And Clark has to make choices, and he's always going to have to make really hard choices. As Superman, he is going to have to decide who he saves, who he doesn't. And that's a big burden, especially for a kid. And I think Jonathan, he
gave the most honest answer any father would give.
Yeah. Because Jonathan can't tell him what to do. Eventually, Clark's going to grow up and Jonathan's going to die, and Clark is going to live probably a long time, and he's going to have to make those decisions on his own. So, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And so I never had a problem with this.
The thing was that people was watching it based on the trailer. And it's like, guys, please at least wait for the content. And the content was not even bad.
Yeah. And it also plays into the ending of the film where, he has to make a decision to maybe kill Zod. And so that's something that sort of is set up here in that scene with Jonathan and little Clark. And then it pays off at the end of the movie. What did you think about this spaceship in the scene of Clark learning about his heritage? Because they sort of play on that on Smallville.
This was where I cried the most because, him... Because he was in the previous scene, he was asking, like, did God do this to me? Please tell me. And, it just, for me, first of all, I just love it that we got a moment to watch the ship a little more in details. Because I do love it. I am kind of one of those nerds who's like, if I was on the set of this film, I would have probably driven Zack crazy because I would have been walking around, like, looking at every detail. I'm like, oh, where are all the wheels at? And, like, where's the threads pulling and so on? I don't know why I would sound like a cowboy saying it, but I don't know. But no, this scene gets to me every time. So,
and there's a payoff to it later on in the film when Zod and his cronies come to the farmhouse and look for the ship. So we already know it's already there, still on the farm. And I like the idea that Jonathan's been doing his homework. He's been doing research. He's been trying to figure out what's going on with Clark. You see those newspapers on his wall there in the barn, and then you hear him say that, like, I went to this university. And I asked him about this thing, and so he's been trying to figure out. He's been trying to get those answers from Clark.
Can I please keep pretending to be your son?
It's tough. That's a good thing. Because I can't even imagine what Clark would have to go through, where he lived his whole life up until now as knowing one reality, and then he finds out, oh, I'm actually an alien, from another world. That's big news.
Yeah, I mean, and he's like what? He's like 12 in this scene.
Yeah, he's pretty young. He might be middle school age. I don't know. They never say. And this whole kind of storyline where Clark is going around the world he's got these odd jobs. That's very close to Superman birthright.
Yeah. Well, there was a rumor about that in the like they said that he was going to be like in Africa and things like that. He was going to be like investigating journals and so, but like of course he wasn't. My God.
Well, I like that though, because it shows that he goes around and he experiences different parts of the country and different parts of the world, and he becomes more familiar with different cultures. And I like that he would see the world that way. And he has to deal with another bully in this scene.
Oh,
yeah.
You don't want bear in a lot of when you have a lot of hair like that, like myself. Like you don't want like anything sticky in it.
Oh, that would be awful.
And to our listeners, I know that I'm usually not seen with a headband, so just be, it's just I don't know if I'm gonna cut my hair now, so I'm just letting it grow out right now. And right now it's becoming so much like it's becoming so tall. Like I need something to kind of cover up.
Just don't put some beer on it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of restraint that Clark deals with here. He doesn't physically attack this guy. He does get a little payback with his truck, but
I remember that was like one of the first things I think Zack ever tweeted. I think with the broken truck and so we were like, what the hell is going on here? I think it was him, or maybe it was a set photo. But I'll admit I was watching set photo.
There are some people who don't like this because they're like, oh my gosh, he destroyed this, way that this guy makes a living. And it's like, well, he also prevented a DUI because that guy had been drinking and he could have gotten into his truck and drove while drunk. So he also prevented a DUI. This entrance for Lois Lane is one of my favorite things in the film. Zack gives her such a heroic moment right here. Oh, I love that shot.
Look at her.
Such a great introduction for Lois Lane, and in a helicopter, which Lois Lane is seen with a lot, going back to Superman the movie.
Was that Henry?
That was Henry. That was.
Oh my God, I've never known that.
You've never seen that? Yeah, Clark that's their technically their first meeting is when she meets quote, I think his name is Joe.
Yeah.
And that's why she makes that funny joke about, my bags are heavy. And it's like, I think he's got it. I think he can.
That's Tomo Pink. He was on Smallville for a few episodes.
Yeah, that actor. I think he was also on Battlestar Galactica.
That's what because I was gonna say. I was almost gonna say Stargate, but
there's
come up all the time.
There's a couple of BSG connections with this film as well, which is funny.
Oh, the guy who played Emil Hamilton, like in Smallville. I think he
was also on BSG as well.
Yeah. Good lord! Thank God they filmed a lot of this in Vancouver.
There's a lot of actors you can pick from in Vancouver. But yeah, I love Lois Lane getting to go to the fortress. This is her entrance into finding the fortress.
If we're not measuring dicks,
she's no nonsense in this first scene.
Oh, by the way, to anyone who loves Lois in purple, well, she doesn't wear a lot of purple, like her coat and stuff like that. Her hat is purple.
Yep, that's true. It's a very dark purple, but it's purple indeed.
Well, that means that's because it's a dark Superman movie, so no one, there are no bright colors. There we go. There is Emil Hamilton number 2.
Yep, there's Emil Hamilton. Oh, I love that shot too, where it starts with the wide shot and pulls down to her. Her look with the beanie and the hat and everything. I just love it. And she's definitely not a delicate flower. Like she can rough it here in the Arctic.
Well, yeah, I mean,
she's not somebody who has to be babied.
I think we're so. I wish people would be more respectful and appreciative of the fact that we got Amy, almost Curtis freaking Adams as Lois Lane.
She's one of the greatest actresses of all time.
How does she not have an Oscar? I don't understand this.
I don't understand it either.
That's a true boycott here.
I also love that this Lois, and I hate to say this for all the Jimmy Olsen fans, but I love that she doesn't necessarily need a Jimmy Olsen to take pictures for her. We see that in Batman v Superman later on, but she's able to take a camera and make some shots for herself.
Yeah, I was honestly hoping that the Jenny Olsen the Jenny character was going to be like her Jimmy almost.
Yeah,
but I like the fact that she can do this. I like the fact she can do this on her own. But people were, when there was a rumor that she was going to be playing Jenny Olsen, people were so angry.
Yeah, I never minded it.
I thought it was cool.
It's not. I don't think that's the intention, but that you could get that from this if you wanted to.
Here we go.
I think it's so cool that he uses his. Of course, he would have to use his heat vision to get through all this ice. I think that's a cool visual. Creates a ton.
But I love the fact that we don't get to see him properly use his heat vision until she gets there.
Right.
Yeah, like because and for people who are not picking up on this, our background that Rebecca brilliantly played is that shot of him looking at the scout ship.
Oh, it's so good, and the music is really good here. It makes it feel like everything is so important. It's something. Is
it weird that that we don't have Hans Zimmer anymore involved with these films? So he kind of like passed it on to Junkie.
Yeah. Well, I guess after a while, you want to try something new, but he did such a good setting up this musical world for the DCEU.
Yeah, like I think that he realized what the perfect instrument is for Superman, and that is drums.
Drums and the pedal steel guitar. He talks if you watch some of the behind the scenes of him creating the score for Man of Steel, he talks about how the steel guitar is sort of the classic instrument for like a Midwestern feel because Clark grows up in Kansas, and so you get the pedal steel guitar is sort of evocative of that.
That's a nasty calyx.
Well, they're programmed to defend the ship.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that the robot can physically harm him, and I guess it's because it's Kryptonian, maybe. Kind of like
that?
You can even see the smoke that he's breathing out, his breath.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is Superman who can also he can freeze, he can get hungry and so on. Because sometimes even on small, I'm like, when do we see Clark eating? And there was that infamous sleeping episode.
Yeah, I mean, he probably doesn't need to, but I mean, he might get hungry.
Although I'm still always gonna be pissed off, or not pissed, but kind of infuriated that anytime we see a Superman product in media, so they can't decide if he and Kara can or can't breathe in space or whatever and so on.
Oh yeah, that's writer's choice, depending on what you want to do with it. I personally love that Lois and Clark are finding the fortress at the same time. I think that is so awesome that they are discovering this together. They're not in the same room, but they're still sort of discovering this together. I think that's really neat. Oh,
open pod.
Who could have been in that open pod? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's Martian Manhunter's secret. So on Supergirl.
That's what it is. He's like, I didn't tell you this, but I'm in a whole.
Well, see, Lois, here's the thing: no flash photography in the fortress.
They tried to make that really clear, and she did not play by the rules. She gets hurt.
Lois rarely does.
Yeah, she is not afraid. She will break your rules if she needs to.
Oh, yes.
Look at him crushing that thing. That would be a little scary for Lois if she got hurt by some alien robots and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, who is this guy?" But he calms her down and she's.
Well, it's those eyes. It's those eyes that kind of hey, I'm not. Oof.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
You're hemorrhaging. Wait, so who made you a doctor, Clark?
Well, he's smart. He's got that super intelligence. He's probably
that's something that Earth One, the book actually does. He does try out different careers.
Yeah,
that's what he wants to do. Oh,
I love the way his heat vision comes in his eyes, it sort of builds up. And they use that on Supergirl. They've adapted that look for heat vision. Look, there's not Emil Hamilton.
Yeah, not Emil Hamilton sleeping on the job. He's like, whoa.
Well, he's got to catch some Z's. He's not Superman. He does need to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. He's also in Canada where it's super cold.
Yeah. And some people don't like the Steadicam, the way that the camera moves, but I kind of like that it does make you feel like you're in it, like you're running with him.
Oh, I agree. I was when I was watching it with a friend after it came out in theater. He was like, "Annie, I can't see what's going on." I'm like, That's good, because if you were running alongside these people, you wouldn't properly see what was going on if you were running.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you woke up and you saw a spaceship come out of the ice and leave? You'd be like, what the heck?
I would call everyone and be like, guys.
You're like, is that just me? Am I like sleep deprived or did that just happen?
Yeah, exactly.
Because even Perry later on is like, you could have hallucinated all of this. So some people might have assumed it. I don't know. I'm sure they saw, like, they probably went to study the remnants of what the ship left behind. But yeah, I like seeing Lois's point of view there. Things are a little blurry. She can't really see anything.
And she was also just injured. So, she was also probably just injured.
Yeah, she had previously had surgery not too long before that because Clark used his heat vision on her.
This was one of the first images I think that came out for Lois. We know when she was dressed in the black vest and so on.
So good! What a great outfit for Lois. Very classic. She looks great. A little skirt, a little vest. Got her hair up. She looks like she could be on the go if she needed to break a story. And I like this dynamic between Lois and Perry in this universe. Lawrence Fishburne is so good. He's cast against like type. Like he doesn't look like the Perry White of the comics or some other previous iterations, but he is Perry White just by the way he acts and the way he gives her a hard time. I love it. I love it so much.
He doesn't have to yell. Like he doesn't have to be Perry just by yelling at her. Like, because I know that's something that he does a lot in the comics. So
yeah.
As a creeping cancer of falsehoods.
Oh man. Yes, she does not like tabloids, Lois Lane. Not a big fan.
In hindsight, it kind of bothers me now that, I mean, even though I love Smallville's Lois Lane, I don't like the fact that she kind of almost did start at a tabloid initially before she got Daily Planet.
Yeah, that's one of my that's where she loses points with me too. I get what they were doing. They were trying to make her kind of start somewhere, but Lois Lane.
Wait a minute. Wait, did his beard just grow? Like his beard got a lot thicker in the shot.
Well, I mean,
has it been like, oh, there we go.
Maybe his hair grows differently. Maybe there's a different timeline there.
Oh. I love his robe, but I want that robe.
Yeah, he looks very elegant and
he looks expensive.
Royal. He looks very expensive. And I wonder if Jor-El, like if you think about it, Jor-El had to program this AI to look the way it looks and to develop intelligence and all this. So Jor-El was like, I'm going to put on my best. I'm going to make my artificial intelligence version of me.
Yeah, I'm going to put on my best Sunday suit.
Yeah. So he had to make a decision about what this AI would look like. So I like that he.
But also that the AI was only programmed to be ready for him when he was an adult.
Yeah, and I guess whenever, and it also I think was started based on the key. The key was inserted into the scout ship, and that's what signaled the fact that like a member of
it's been like, and also
it was activated.
Like 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was activated by the key. So I think the Jor-El AI started, like, I don't think he's always been walking around the ship. I think he only started walking around the ship. Could you imagine? 20,000 years, this artificial intelligence Jor-El is.
Oh, hi, Kara. No, I'm not here for you. I'm here for Cal.
No, I think he just appeared when Clark inserted the key into the ship. There's more of this liquid geo for this history lesson, which is a cool way to.
I love it so much. It's just again.
It shows you all the main players. Like you get to see this recap.
Like imagine like if people like imagine if you were standing around all of that and you're seeing I'm learning all about my culture in this like one 360 shot.
That would be awesome if I could get my family history like this. That would help you remember it a lot more. Even the details of the stuff like shooting up where it looks like the destruction of Krypton. That's a really cool detail that they put in here because it looks just like what we saw from Krypton. And then of course there's the homage to the ship from Superman the movie, Baby Kal-El's ship.
I will take a quick look in the comments, see what people have been saying. Kenneth Carly says Amy Adams is my third Lois Lane after Eric and Margaret Kidder.
Okay.
Let's see.
While
See,
you're
I'm
doing that, I just want to mention there's more blue in here. There's a lot of blue in these scenes, a lot of color.
no, Rebecca, you're being delusional. There's no color in this movie.
And I think blue is a good use of it here, is blues and greens, because it's cold where they are. They might, I don't know if they're still in the Arctic, if he just moved locations in the Arctic, but the fortress has that kind of cold feel to it.
Yeah.
So
Let's see.
blue and cold go together.
Oh, we have a question from KO's 13212.
Okay.
I'd like to ask, in the terms of the comic, has Superman been a Marvel character? Do you think he would be an Avenger, X-Men, or his own character, assuming that he has his same origin story?
That's a good question. I don't know. What do you think, Andy?
I think he would have been an X-Men. I think he would have. But I don't think he would have liked the idea of a team somehow. I think he would have been more like, hey, I kind of want to live with my society of people.
That's an interesting take, because he is sort of an outsider. The X-Men are sort of seen as outsiders of society, so I think that could be the case. But also
the suit. I'm sorry.
But the Avengers are kind of like the Justice League of the Marvel universe, so he probably would be a leader in the Avengers, is what my guess would be. But I like the idea that he could have been part of the X-Men. Maybe he would have started out as an X-Men and then joined the Avengers. Yeah, I like that reveal of the suit where it sort of rotates out, and it's a big moment.
I love that Jor-El gets to do like a shirt. He almost had like a shirt rip moment.
It is basically a shirt rip. Yeah.
Oh,
So
here we go.
Oh,
wow! Look at that majesty.
It's such an Alex Ross image right there with the cape floating in the wind.
Oof.
So good. This is a big deal. This first time he's going to try to fly. Because he, like you said, with the oil rig, he did try to sort of test his limits and see what he could do. Like, he knows he can do things, but he doesn't know exactly how much he can do. Look at that cape flowing in the wind. I think a lot of that is CGI.
No, don't ruin this for me, Rebecca. Like, for me, that's a real cape. It has to be a real cape. Because that's the thing. I mean, because even through Zack Snyder, I was introduced to that. I was introduced to the idea of people using CGI for their capes now. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a practical cape, and sometimes if they want it to move a certain way or look a certain way, they can use the CGI to do it, to what they want to do.
Oh, leap a tall building in a single bound.
Which is how he first moved. He didn't initially start out as a flying character. He started out as a character who could leap tall buildings. So that's a throwback to his origins in the Golden Age.
There we go. All the haters. He smiled. He laughed. Are you happy?
He's having fun up until the point that he doesn't.
He destroys like an entire mountain.
Well, it was his first attempt.
Yeah, exactly. And at least the only thing he probably scared was a bunch of polar bears. So.
Yeah,
because because if John Peters was involved in this film at all, he probably just like, hey Zach, throwing a couple polar bears.
Well, they do show a polar bear when you see the fortress, and so I think that was kind of a subtle homage to the what was it? Superman Lives was the movie that he was going to make with Kevin Smith. Yeah, so I think that was supposed to be sort of an inside joke. But I like all the use of the lens flares here are very natural. That
J.J. Abrams, you can learn a thing or two from that.
I mean, you don't have to overuse them, but I mean, lens flares.
Wait! Oh, now the fist and like he's shaking the entire ground, and here we go.
I like the use of it, showing how powerful he is. He's very powerful to be able to do that.
And this was like the third time I was crying like massively. Like a lot of people were looking at me funny in the theater because I'm like, but like you guys don't understand how much this means to me. Like Superman is a majestic character, and he should get to be portrayed that way. I mean, look, there's a birthright shot.
Yep, that's
the water. Oh,
yeah. This shows him flying around the world. I mean, he's being able to, and I like that he's going somewhere where he's not going to be spotted flying. Like nobody else is going to see him do this, so it's a very safe place for him to try this out. He's flying around.
Yeah, clenching with one fist and just going like this.
Yeah.
Look how. Oh, Henry Cavill, you deserve so much more love.
Yeah, I agree. Especially as Superman. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely looks majestic with the cape floating in the wind like that.
Oh, this was one of my favorite shots from like just from the trailer and the film, just like seeing him flying in space.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, do we have to wait till the end of the movie to get something like that? But like, no, we get it like in the middle.
Yeah,
And this is one of my favorite aspects of Lois, like, is that we get to see her like really investigate, like to the like they get into it directly. She's going around America and investigating. Debbie Sue.
That's maybe an Easter egg to Deborah Snyder. I'm guessing that's. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to take it as such. Yeah, I love that about this Lois too, is that she doesn't talk about like, oh, I mean, she does mention that she's a Pulitzer Prize winner, but you get to see like her in action. She's doing her thing. She's going around and getting the story, and you get to see all the people she interviews. And she does such a good job. I always say that she tracks an alien down to his mother's front door, and that's how good she is. She finds where his childhood home. She's so good.
You know what I just realized? I just noticed that Diane Lane, she's wearing a cross. I love that they got to have some religion in there as well, like kind of
Yeah, she does that both in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and that's one of the things I love about her as a character. That she's a character. They do have a representation of faith, and particularly very specifically Christian faith. But that's also something that's pulled with Superman as the Christ imagery. There's a lot of tension in this scene where they're at the cemetery, because it's like he doesn't know what she's gonna do, and she doesn't know what he's gonna do.
What if I told her I don't want my story told?
She's like, too bad. I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah, but like, at least she's offering a chance of like, hey, like, I mean, if you're not careful enough, and you're not being careful enough, one day you will be exposed.
Yeah.
But the world, if I know who I really was.
Are you just gonna act out the scene?
I'm sorry. I love this quote so much because for me, this was like because I came out of the closet around around 2011 and so on, and I was like, that quote stood sad with me, like after I heard that, like, hey, that's how I felt if I really. Teenage Clark Kent is so cute. Like, I love how Henry's like really like able to like pull his vocal cord and be like, for a farm forever.
Yeah, I mean, that scene between Lois and Clark is a big deal, because she respects what he's telling her. Like, she doesn't just go behind his back and still do the story anyway. She uses her judgment, her free will, her choice to not do the story yet, because she respects what he has to say. Yeah, but this scene is tough because this is Jonathan and Clark getting into a big fight.
Well, I know that this is like, for me, like maybe it's like where the only few things where I do wish he would have saved him, but it's like, I get it, he couldn't. Like, yeah, he could have super speeded, and then all of Smallville would know who. Don't leave the dog. Oh my god.
Well, that's the big part of the scene, is that they leave the dog, so they have to go back and get it.
No. How do you feel about Jonathan's death? Like, were you like, because I know a lot of, I mean, I don't care about the haters, but like this was something that I kind of, in a way, sort of understood where they were coming from.
Well, to me, I always think that the heart attack, like, the traditional, Superman the movie, like, he dies of a heart attack. Like, there's pros and cons to that. Like, the pro for that storytelling choice is that Superman can't prevent him from having a heart attack, but he actually kind of can, because people survive heart attacks all the time. So you have to have a way to kill Jonathan where it makes sense. And I think for them being where they live in Kansas, I mean, tornadoes do happen. And so I think that this is actually a really connected piece to where they're from and where they live. And so I like the use of the tornado. And I think the choice for Jonathan to make that choice for himself, again, plays into the free will aspect. He chooses to stop Clark, and Clark makes the choice to respect his father. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's very heroic, because Jonathan goes back for the least of these. He doesn't have to save the dog, but he does.
Yeah, I will say the one thing I do hate that people have been saying about this Superman is that, oh, he assisted his father in committing suicide. I'm like, no, that is not even remotely what happens. And that's an evil thing to say. Oh, and now the music just stops.
Yeah, it's really well done. And I like that it's not grotesque. Like, you don't see him die. He just gets swept up in the tornado. and that's it.
Yeah, I appreciate that Zack did that and he didn't show. Oof.
Yeah. And I mean, Clark would have to live with that, his whole life, that he maybe could have saved his father, but he didn't.
Although it does break my heart to a degree that he thinks that he was responsible for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like, I feel so much for Clark.
But that's what Jonathan wanted. He told him to stop. And in the previous scene, he was fighting with his father. He disrespected.
Wait, did the captain say Lombard? I forgot that he was in this film.
Yeah, that's Steve Lombard, who is a character from the comics who works in the Daily Planet. And Steve Lombard, I like their interaction because Steve Lombard is supposed to be sort of kind of a jerk. So I like that he doesn't look like Steve Lombard usually looks, but his personality is very much there.
The publishers want me to sue. I don't understand. Wait, why would they want him to sue her? Like, why wouldn't they just go after her themselves?
Well, Lois is in trouble, and I think it's because she made the choice to go to what's his face from the tabloid.
Competitor.
Yeah. So I think that's what that's about. See, Perry is not going to let her off easy. He gives her such a hard time. But he does it because he knows she's good at what she does. He wants her to be better than she is at the moment. So I like that.
But I love that he's like, I don't believe for a moment that you leave when cold. Like, he called it out on her BS.
Oh, he knows what's going on. And I like that Perry has some judgment about his free will in this, that he knows that she saw something. He believes that she does, but he's using his judgment to be like, I don't know if we should tell this story right now. See, I love all these shots of like butterflies and windmills, things that sort of, turn and move and fly.
I just love seeing the Kent farm in a new light. Kind of, the small community aspect. Oh
yeah. Oh, look at the greens, the color of the the corn and the grass. There's
color.
What?
Yeah, it's like it was a LexCorp ad.
Yeah. That was the first kind of tease to Lex Luthor in this universe.
Oh,
this is such a good scene too. I'm telling you, Diane Lane's Martha Kent, so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that use of the sun there. That's really pretty. I would live at the Kent farm. It's such a pretty little place.
I think if I retired, when I retire.
Well, hopefully one day we can both do that.
Yeah, I always take a Kent farm as well.
Yeah, I like being near a city, but I could totally live in the country like that.
I love because for me, like, the cornfield is going to become such a big thing in Superman's story later in the series. So, like, for me, it's just like just seeing that he's surrounded by all the time, just kind of it gets me ready for what's to come.
And what do you think about Martha? Because I always get the sense in the scene where Clark comes and says, I found my people, and I think there might be a little bit of Martha who her heart sinks a little bit because she knows, like, she sort of has to share Clark with another family. And I don't know. I don't know how, like, adoptive families think about that kind of stuff.
I was thinking, like, if that had been me, I would have been terrified because, like, oh crap, he finally has people now that he can relate to. I can't do anything for him anymore. I'm going to lose my only remaining family member I have here.
Yeah.
So, like, her fear is just so real.
I think she's happy for him to know where he comes from, but I think there's a little bit of her that's always worried.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere, Mom.
Except I'm going to die in the next...
Rebecca!
But he doesn't go anywhere. He comes back. Yeah. It's fine. Oh, look who that is. General Swanwick. He may, don't want to spoil it for anybody, but he may be important later on.
Well, it was when I'd seen the film, my theory was that he was who we know who he is.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Andy, like, they're not going to be that interconnected. They don't care about setting up things. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I was right. We have video of me giving my theory when he was walking on stage of Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con 2013. I'm like, has he been this entire time?
Just want to make sure we don't spoil anybody.
Yeah.
But I think Harry Lennox is so good in this film in particular. But he's all through. He's in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. We know he's going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But he's so good. Harry Lennox.
He's if he could, I hope that one day if they do like another DCU Arrowverse crossover, I want him to meet his counterpart, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes. That's a haunting image of like you're seeing like this like claw shape.
Can you imagine if like there was a live shot of a spaceship in the air all over the news? I would be like, are y'all seeing this? Like, I just can't even imagine what that'd be like.
I would run over to a neighbor because if I've been like alone, I would like run over to someone and be like, hey, I don't want to see this alone. I don't want to, you know.
And this sequence is definitely played up for the horror aspect. Like Zack plays it as if it's a horror movie. You know, you get the creaks of the door opening and the lights turning off like that. Like it's supposed to be played up as a really scary.
Well, remember in the marketing when the thing that Zod does now.
Yeah,
like,
you're not alone message.
I remember there was one trailer where they had like a Kryptonian countdown. For like when the trailer was going to start playing and so on.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to introduce General Zod to people of Earth because it's terrifying.
You are not alone.
I mean, that's kind of like that, yeah. I mean, that's pretty close. But yeah, he takes over the airwaves. He takes over everything, all their technology. I mean, the world just stops. Everybody is seeing the same image. That's crazy. I can't even imagine.
I love that they really thought about like making it available for like the entire world of like of translating.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to scare everybody on this planet, so I need to make sure I can scare them all in their own languages. Yeah, but it shows the impact of the world. Like this is impacting the entire planet. This is not just an America thing. This is everywhere.
Yeah, and that's that's what I love about Zack's vision for Superman is that he makes Superman a universal character. Because I remember this movie came out a year after there was a controversial issue of Action Comics where Superman renounced his citizenship.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I think it was actually David Goyer who wrote it. And I remember like people were so angry about it, but he is a universal figure. Like the world is watching him. Yeah.
And he would be able to save and help people all around the globe. So it does sort of make sense that he would be a hero for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that this is cool that it impacts, on a global scale. And here is Clark, the guy that these aliens on the message are looking for. And he's just in a farmhouse in a small town in Kansas.
Having a beer.
Having a beer. He was watching a football game. He was just going to take it easy, going to hang out with his mom.
In my head, I like to pretend that he was watching Vic Stone's game.
Oh, I like
that. But it said something with cans, I think, so I don't think it was it. But like, you know, maybe one day, if I get a hold of Zack, I'll be like, Zack, can you canonize a moment for me? And he's like, sure, what is that? Was that Victor Stone's game he was watching? He's like, sure, just for you, Andy. Just for you.
Well, maybe Clark knew who he was. Maybe he followed football. So this scene, I love this scene with Lois and the tea and watching the news because I love what she's wearing. She'll wear this for a couple of scenes. This pantsuit. It's just so good. It's a perfect outfit for Lois Lane. I love it so much.
Yeah,
They also had some product placement with these phones here. I remember the phones.
Yeah, you could see that it was a Nokia phone. I'm like,
well, product placement.
Yeah, but that happens in every movie. Like, I don't understand why this film gets so much crap for, they destroyed a Sears, an IHOP. Oh, what the hell?
It's subtle. It's not like they focus on it too much. They just kind of show it. Lois is in such trouble. The FBI came to her house. She is, or her apartment.
Although I always imagine that if anything, that this is why I always want to meet. I hope that one day we do meet her Sam Lane, because he would have been the one to defend her. Oh crap!
Well, yeah, and if you think that she has, like the comic book backstory,
this is so uncalled for. Like, why would they aim their guns at her?
Well, she's somebody they got to capture. They got to make sure that she doesn't go away. Yeah. She's in big time trouble. I mean, the fate of the world is in her hands. But yeah, if she did have that military background connection to her father, like we don't know anything about her father in this universe, but or her sister. So I just like to, my headcanon is she did grow up in the military, so she has some security.
You know who would be the perfect Lucy Lane to her Lois Lane?
Who's that?
Jessica Chastain.
Oh yes, Grace Randolph would hate that.
I told them I was gonna work into it.
Oh man, Grace Randolph.
That's Kenny Braverman, right?
Yes, I think so. I think that is correct. And you see Sullivan's, that's an homage to Chloe Sullivan. For better or for worse.
Yeah, for better. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, and only Chloe Sullivan. But I love this. I'm like, hey, Pete and Clark friends again.
Yeah.
With a Sullivan building behind them.
Yeah, I mean,
there's that trio.
He's with the bullies, but he helps Clark at this point. He's kind of making that transition to becoming friends. This is another good scene where Clark has to make a choice. He has to, he could fight back, but he chooses not to.
Oh my God, Dylan Sperry was so little. Because now he went into, he's got into puberty. He sounds a lot deeper. So,
yeah, he's young here. But they have a lot of great moments between Jonathan Kent and Lowell Clark. And I like that it runs throughout the film. You get to see their relationship, even though Jonathan in the current timeline is dead. You get to see how Jonathan impacted him and helped him make these decisions as he grew up.
So I haven't thought about the scene for years, but I think I want to retract a little bit from what I said a few years ago about how I was kind of tired of the Superman / Jesus symbolism. I think what I'm more annoyed with people is when they keep comparing it to God. It's no, Clark is not a god. He is as human as we are because he doubts. He's not. He is not this powerful being. He has godlike powers. But he, because now I kind of do appreciate this, and I do love the Jesus background of him. It's not. I know it's not a cape, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it might be a little on the nose. I'll grant people that, but I think it's perfectly appropriate for the character. And
also, he was raised by a Christian household. Of course, faith would be part of his upbringing in some way.
And he probably went to this church, and the father that he's talking to is probably Father Leon is probably the guy he would see every Sunday when he went to church with Martha. That's probably the case.
The first part comes later. Yeah,
and I think it's a great representation for a clergyman, a man of faith, to give him such wise advice. I like that a lot. And Clark listens to him. Clark respects that he has something wise to say to him. This shot with the cape coming down, that's
him just floating in the air.
So good. And he's facing off with all those armored tanks and everything. Oh, that shot with the sun coming through over him. Oh, yeah, so good.
Oh. Hey guys, just so you know, we kind of like this movie.
I love this movie. I do. There's one problem I have with it at the end. We'll talk about it when we get there, but the rest of it is just really good.
He's willing to get himself in cuffs. And that just shows that he's so respectful to, human your process and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that his line something like, if it makes him feel better.
What did they cover with paint in the background?
I forget what it says. It says something like follow the line or something like that.
Yeah, but something was painted over. So I'm kind of
yeah, I don't know why it looks like that unless they, took that building over and just covered it up.
Sinus. On my world, it means hope. Well, here...
I like that she mentions it being a letter because she's a writer. She would think about that stuff. She would think about words and what they mean. And they don't necessarily say it outright here, but I think she comes up with the name of Superman.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that he can see through the glass. Of course he would be able to with his X-ray vision. You don't have to see the X-ray vision to know what he's doing.
I don't like it when Superman stories when they have to visually show that he is using his vision. Sometimes there's been some comments where his eyes glow white. I'm like, that's not really an X-ray thing though. Like I kind of wish it was like I don't know.
I think it's really clever that the way they I guess photograph this, the way they use the camera.
Oh my god, they were triggered so badly.
Everybody but General Swanwick was scared. Oh, it says behind the line is what it says.
Oh, behind the line, okay.
I guess that's part of like a detention or like a
Swanwick kind of looks like he looks good in kind of a green camouflage color.
He does. Green might be his color. I love this. I love this shot. This sort of this two shot of them. Some people say it evokes like what it would be like if they got married, where they would have to stand. You know,
one day they will be married.
Maybe one day, maybe she'll say yes and they'll get married. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's hope that happens. But I like that shot.
March 18th.
HBMX.
Yeah,
make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah.
Sign up today.
This disclaimer: Warner Brothers and HBO Max did not pay us to say that.
No, we're just big fans.
But HBO Max, if you want to become our sponsor, we don't mind.
I mean, we would be open to it. I think.
Yes.
But yeah, I love this scene so much, where it's just this big open space where it's just Superman and Lois talking. I love that so much because you get to see the progression of their relationship. Like it's starting to build a little bit. And the relationship between Superman and the military.
Yeah, he showed so much cooperation where it's like.
Yeah, I love this pan, by the way. Yeah. Across Superman in the military with Lois.
Yeah, it's so good. It's the cape. It
is the cape. You're right.
Suckers for good cape. I'm like, you know what, Barry Allen, start wearing a cape. Otherwise, I can't love you the way I love Superman.
But yeah, that cape really is majestic.
I love that it kind of like it's not meant to be a skull, but it kind of has like a skull shaped. It's like inspired by the skull. Kind of make me think of the Brainiac ship.
A little bit. It's more beetle-like. I think it was more based on insects than anything. I think the Kryptonian ships are kind of insect-like. They have a very distinct look to them. It's very organic. Like they, it's like a life form.
Can we talk about Feora for a second? I would
love to. Please talk about Feora.
Yeah, she is such an underappreciated character. Like I think she's House of All. Okay, interesting. No, she's a great villain. I remember like when I went to, because I think it was like a Pacific Rim panel or something. She was in the Pacific Rim movies or something like that, and she did a panel for a Comic-Con right after Man of Steel. And they talked about like how like she loved because everyone loved her as from Man of Steel. She talked about like how that film really prepared her for like taking on bigger roles and so on. I think that was really cool.
And I think if I remember my Zack Snyder history correctly, I think she's one of the actresses who was like going to give up on acting, and then Zack Snyder was like, "No, I want you in my movie," and she continued to act. That's happened to several actresses, like Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like we were almost not going to have her as Wonder Woman if Zack hadn't given her the cape. I'm sorry.
I think Emily from the Sucker Punch film, I think she was going to quit acting, and then Zack Snyder hired her. So I think he saved a lot of careers just by believing in these actresses to be able to do what they do. And she's really good in this. Like Feora is not going to cut up,
Yeah, I hope she comes back one day, like from the Phantom Zone.
I mean, she's probably still alive, right? She's probably just in the Phantom Zone. But yeah, she's so good. She's a vicious Kryptonian. She does not care who she hurts. And can we just talk about that Lois Lane goes to space?
She goes to freaking space.
She is
and she will become a badass. I mean, she'll show how badass she is. Like, I think that's where her military side comes out. I think it's she probably was taught this by her father.
Yeah, I imagine if she did grow up with a General Lane, like she probably learned how to shoot guns. She probably learned how to defend herself. That's probably why she's a little bit fearless.
Again, the scar. Again, it's just like
still with him. He carries Jor-El with him everywhere he goes, haunts him. And that Kryptonian armor, not to bust your bubble, but his armor is CGI.
I know. I saw someone literally posted that on Instagram yesterday. I'm like, oh good, they knew I was going to watch Man of Steel, so they wanted to crush my spirit. No, I don't mind if things are in CGI.
Although I think Feora's some of the time was real armor.
Yeah, no, there's a shot of her. Like, yeah, it's the headpiece that wasn't real.
Yeah, it's a mixture of CGI and practical effects, but that armor would realistically be very heavy. And I like the use of kryptonite also in this universe. It's not necessarily a green rock here. It's like the Kryptonian atmosphere that he's not used to that affects him.
Yeah.
He literally kneels before Zod.
I'm glad that he was like, I needed him to kneel before me or whatever. I'm glad that it wasn't on.
Yeah, but that would have been too on the nose. Yeah, I think it's more subtle there. What do you think about the use of the black suit here? General Zod always wears the black suit.
I was glad that we got to see it on Zod, but also I love that we got to see it on Superman as well. I mean, because I'm like, hey, you know what? That means that we're gonna see the black suit one day.
Yeah, that it would be related to Kryptonian culture, probably.
It's probably what they wear when they're grieving, like when they have like funerals and so on.
Possibly, or it could be like a House of Zod thing. Well, I don't know, because the House of El had a black suit, so it's probably just Kryptonian culture somehow. So yeah, maybe they use different colors for different things.
Oh, here. I forgot that they got to see Krypton destroyed.
Yeah, this is them in the Black Zero ship. And I like that it's sort of like they do grieve over the loss of their Kryptonian people.
They're not completely like just like two-dimensional villains. They're like, hey, you know what? We lost our culture that raised us to be what we are today.
Right. That blue in space is so pretty.
No, Rebecca, there's no blue. There's no color in this movie.
There's no color. I mean, it's just those lights really pop in the blackness of space.
Yeah.
I like we get to see those armored spacesuits. It does sort of look like Superman the animated series when Superman would go into space. Sort of has that same vibe to it.
The chest, the lamps on the chest, like the lights, like it kind of makes me think of Brainiac a little bit.
A little bit. There's a little bit of Brainiac with some of these space things.
Oh, good look. Can you imagine what Zack would do with Brainiac?
It would be so good.
Like, he would probably make us root for him at some point. But like, hey, you know what? He kind of has a good point.
He would probably be very scary too.
Oh yeah, I mean, girl, listen, the Skull Ship. I mean, like, I don't think like that alone would get an R rating.
Yeah, and I like the use of Zod sort of trying to convince Clark to be on his side using his Earth heritage. Like, you see him on the farm. He's wearing the Kansas City Royals shirt. He's
a good manipulator.
He's trying to get him emotionally to try to get to his side. He's smart. Yeah. General Zod is smart. He's not somebody being messed with.
No, I mean, he's like, I would say this. I like this Zod way more than Terrence Stamp, to be honest. Like, no offense to him, but it's like, this is a complicated General Zod. And here we go. Moon prism power, makeup, and he's and he's in the black. Sorry.
Yeah, he transforms. He's gonna once again have to make a choice.
I love the fact that we get a nod to the black suit, but we don't get the silver S.
Yeah, it's a little different. But he's sort of,
this image here is a wallpaper, like him standing on the skull, the sun behind him, and he's like, you killed.
Yep. Clark's gonna have, or Cal, I guess, is gonna have to make a choice whether to join Zod, because he looks like Zod now. They have matching suits on, so he has to decide if he wants to be like Zod or not. But now
sorry, go on.
Well, he's not in the black suit now. We see that was sort of like a.
When you saw the trailer, you saw the shot of Clark being sucked in by skulls. Did you also think that was him in the Phantom Zone? Because that was my first theory. I
mean, it could have been. You could do something like that in the Phantom Zone. But yeah, I like that there's sometimes when you use trailers, you can kind of put something in there to be like, what is happening? Yeah, but I like that there's a lot of good Zod Kal-El.
Yeah, David Goyer and Zack. Wait, did Zack write the script for this?
No, I think it was mostly just Goyer.
Goyer wrote a good Zod.
Yeah, and I think Goyer wrote, or he at least had the idea for Man of Steel when he was working on The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
The story Yeah, the story I always heard was like he had some Man of Steel comics like sitting by him while he was writing The Dark Knight Rises, and he was like, "Huh."
Oh, by the way, there's a blonde guy there. That is Dan Turpin from Smallville.
See, lots of Smallville connections.
Yeah. God bless Vancouver, Canada. That's him. Yeah, there we go. And he's from Smallville too. He played a scientist in Cyborg's first episode, and he plays Lex Luthor Clo in the final season of Smallville. Mackenzie Davis.
He's got such a distinct look, that actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, the needle.
Yeah, they're trying to get the codex.
What did Lois do? Jesus, like
she's vicious. These Kryptonians don't mess around. But I like that they were nice enough to be like, she needs to be able to breathe. So they gave her that helmet.
But you know what? We're gonna throw you around like a rag doll.
Yeah, we might beat you up another way, but we're gonna make sure you still live because we might need you later. And I like that Lois is smart enough to piece together here. Like, what if I put this key thing in this slot because it kind of looks like the same thing. Oh, look at that blue. There's a little bit of color there.
Oh, Rebecca, there's no color here.
I'm just like putting blue into these scenes.
Exactly.
Imagining. I like that helmet looks real. Like it almost looks like glass or like a translucent.
Yeah, it looks like
really good.
It looks like kind of like you know those face shields people are using right now, like when they go out. It kind of made me think of that a little bit.
Yeah, I like that how good that looks, and she gets to interact with Jor-El.
Yeah,
how many Lois Lane can say that.
Yeah, like only her and Erica have because Erica literally goes and like tries to plead with Jor-El.
Yeah, she goes. Yeah. So I like this. She's learning about Kryptonian heritage at the same time that Clark is. So
they're on the equal battlefield. Like that's what I love.
They're on parallel journeys.
And as the boyfriend gets to learn about his heritage, the girlfriend gets to learn about it too.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's very fitting for their characters.
Wait, but why did he turn it off? Doesn't he need that?
He's manipulating the atmosphere in the ship.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it also affects Clark.
I will say there was a parody video of that scene, and like someone was like saying like like you're playing like a video game almost with that. I will show it to you later, but like when Clark is like when she's running past, as Jor-El is like showing her like pointing left and right and so on. There's like an option like turn right, press square to go right.
Well, he is that sort of wise sage AI telling her what to do, so it does sort of look like that.
There's IHOP.
I mean, I'm glad that Smallville has a place where they can go eat pancakes. That's good.
No.
I love that Lois Lane, not only does she get to go to space, she gets to shoot blasters.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome. This is why
that face shot. She shot him right in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? This is our General Lane. Yeah. We don't need Sam. Yeah,
she is the general. Yeah, I just love that she gets to have this interaction with Jor-El, and she gets to she has to be rescued a little bit later on, but she's sort of saving herself.
Yeah, she's no damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Oh God! I forgot about that shot. Oh yeah, I forgot about that shot.
That's why Jor-El has to tell her to move. She doesn't totally save herself, but I like the idea that she's capable of that. But I also like a romantic shot of Superman saving Lois.
Exactly.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, we're in agreement here. Oh. So the final time Jor-El gets to see him is like as in his Kryptonian outfit.
Look at that cape. Look at that cape. Oh,
that's sick.
Floating in the wind. Oh,
yeah.
So good.
I should have worn my cape. I literally have a Man of Steel cape.
You should have. You should have dressed in your Superman vest.
Good Lord. If only we can do this again.
Yeah, but maybe for the next.
You can save all of them.
He does deliver those like heroic, inspirational speeches very well.
Okay, that is another, that for me, I was like, another Jesus shot.
That's Christ imagery for sure.
But I don't mind it. I'm like, because the music just takes up all of it.
Oh yeah, the cape usage.
My son.
Oh yeah, so good. I like this rescue because it's something that only Superman can do.
Exactly. That's their helicopter scene now.
Yeah. Just flying from space.
Yeah, and like he reaches, he like reaches. I love that.
And it's a struggle for him. It's not completely easy. And I
Well,
love that.
everyone forgets that this is his first day being a Superman now.
Yeah, and I love that shot where like they're looking at each other. She has to totally trust him here. Like she cannot do anything to help herself. And he covers her with the cape.
Oh,
yeah.
that cape.
It's good. It's good. Indestructible cape keeps her from burning up. Oh man. Can you imagine if you were Martha Kent and then like all of a sudden aliens, like an alien spaceship shows up to your house again?
That is horrifying. There's not one, but 2 ships floating around your house.
I mean, she has a spaceship in her house, so she's not totally foreign to spaceships, but like a one where people come out of it wearing armor. That's scary.
The boots, by the way, the Superman boots, like I love how like they almost feel like they're just skin. They don't look like big clunky shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the first Chloe's kiss.
Well, not necessarily. Like they have a moment. They don't. I don't think they.
But they were gonna kiss. They were so gonna kiss.
It was close. There's a moment. They're feeling something at this point. But it's a good moment, and that subtle use of the super hearing. I like that.
One of my favorite quotes is about to happen.
There's always a way for Lois to get somewhere. Somebody's always coming to get her, which I think is very convenient.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? Uber who? I don't need you.
This was before Uber. They didn't have Uber. We didn't have Uber back then.
Go to hell.
Oh yeah, Martha gets to have an awesome moment where she stands up to the Kryptonians. I mean, they do destroy her house, but she gets to have a moment where.
Good Lord, the insurance company in this universe must be out of.
Well, do you need insurance if your son is Superman? Like he can go and get some wood from the forest and
that's
make a
true.
New
Yeah, he
house
wouldn't
for
need to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Clark could rebuild it in like 5 minutes. I mean, that's what I would say. I'd be like, son.
Oh my God, Fiora, there was a door. There was literally a door there.
He doesn't need doors. She can do whatever she wants to do.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Who needs a roof? Just throw the car through the roof. Who cares? Or I guess it was a truck.
Where is the Codex? Oh, there we go. Oh. Yeah.
You think you can threaten my mother?
You think you can threaten my mother? Sorry.
It's a good moment for Superman.
You can threaten my mother.
They do destroy some buildings and some things. There may be some casualties, like the gas station.
You know what? Almost all of New York was destroyed in the Avengers. So
I mean, there are things. I mean, it's just part of being a superhero. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes you can't help it. Villains are going to destroy stuff.
Oh, the cape!
Look at that cape. That might have been a practical cape.
Guys, please go back and do a drinking game of how many times me and Rekka says cape, and then I just cut. You know what? Because me and Rekka, we watched a series of clips yesterday of something that made us laugh a lot. So like, do that for us. Do like a montage of us saying cape all the time.
Well, the cape is just so good. How can you not talk about it? I think they perfected that look because I know there's a lot of costume designers for Superman or Supergirl will play with the placement on how the cape goes on the shoulder, but I think they really nailed it with this one. I think.
I don't like for example what Tyler Hecken's first suit had, where it was like the clap-ons. Yeah.
Because I think it makes a difference wherever you put the cape going into the suit. Like you have to really figure that out. It's a lot of different interpretations.
Let's see how many. Okay, so they destroyed a 7-Eleven. Let's see what else they destroyed.
Yeah, the gas station. I think one of the silos. They went through one of the farm silos. So I mean, Smallville had some damage, but Superman tries to minimize it.
There were some people that said that this was supposed to be like Fiora and Non, like from Non and Ursa.
Yeah.
I'm making that my canon.
Yeah, he's a big brute of a guy.
Yeah, unless Zack tells me like that, no, he's not Non. I'm like, okay, Zack, he's not Non. I will listen to you. Oh. Yeah,
this is a really good sequence because it helps show the people of Earth Superman is on our side. He's not an enemy, so I really like this. This is actually you might hear the term Guardian in here.
But he did. This is Guardian. Yeah.
So just keep your ear out for that.
Yeah, and this is Roger Guardian. Yeah, so somewhere James Olsen is running. He's like, I'm coming. My father's camera was broken once, and now I have to become a superhero.
And now I'm a superhero because my camera got destroyed.
Guys, I would only make fun of things with Supergirl, like that, unless I knew that Rebecca and Morgan had also done this. And
we did it first. So
yeah, exactly.
So if you don't like it,
okay, let's see what else.
I like all the American flags evoking small town America in the scene of Smallville. I mean, Smallville is like, why are there so many jets flying around the sky? Like they've probably never had something like this happen before. I guess depending on what Smallville. He looks like a
demon. He looks like a demon with that mask.
Yeah, they're scary. These Kryptonians with those masks are scary. And he wrecks that plane, and I think he smashes the skull of the pilot, and like blood goes everywhere.
Like
it's vicious.
It looked like he grabbed the face, at least. Oh, Boogie, come here.
Oh my gosh. Can you just imagine if Feora smashing your ship? I would be so scared.
Bye IHOP. And there's I think Pete knew that this was Clark. He had to have known
I think they connected. I think he realizes who that is. He knows
he's like, wow, like Clark, you really flowered out. Like no, wait. What's the term?
Blossom.
Yeah. Flower out.
Well, I imagine Clark probably came back to Smallville, every now and then to see his mom.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So he probably ran into Pete every now and then. I don't think Pete realized that he would be in that Superman suit though. He's like, "What are you wearing, dude?"
See, that's where
the promotional image. Yeah, I think that was the first image that came out, which I think is cool because that
wins. Sorry, God.
I was just going to say that that vault is made of steel, so. Or I assume
there was a man on that, so man of steel.
I think that's very appropriate for that to be the first image. The fight sequence here is so good.
Yeah, I wonder how much of this was like actual like practical and how much was.
I think a lot of it is.
Yeah, I need to go. We need to one day. You and I need to sit one day and just watch the Man of Steel featurettes. Let the LZ in.
But because they used, I think, a lot of wire work. But it's just so they use all of the Kryptonian powers to such a great level, like the speed, the invulnerability, the super strength, the heat vision. It's all there. Oof. And Superman is not. I mean, he doesn't.
He's not an expert yet.
Yeah, he's still having to, and he's fighting multiple Kryptonians.
Yeah, there's a third one? I think that's about, or is it just these two, or not?
Well, he fought Zod for a little while, and then he's having to go up against. And I love the heat vision here.
Oh yeah.
Get off my case. Here's some heat vision in your face.
You've been crashing my town. You got to get the hell out of here.
Get out. Stop messing with
Rao's
these people.
name, get the hell out of Smallville.
I
wonder what Rao is like in the DCEU. I wonder if goodbye, truck.
Yeah. Oops. This
is gonna be a beautiful shot. What's about to come because he saves them, but then the entire the army they stand down when they see him.
Yeah, I mean. He's their friend. He's not trying to hurt them. He's trying to defend them. I think the military guys probably recognize he's defending us.
She looks so amused by
Yeah, this starts the there's a little bit of a minor storyline between Feora and
Hardy.
Yeah, I like the little storyline here.
This is
between the two of them. Feora, the use of super speed is really cool.
Yeah, I love this. This is kind of what I wish we see more of with the Kryptonians, when because we only see Kara run or super speed every once in a while.
Yeah, so it's not one of her more used powers. That's why when she uses it, I'm like, oh, she used super speed. We don't get to see super speed as much as the Flash does.
Sorry, that's sorry. Barry has the capital on speed, I guess. They're probably fighting each other in the Phantom Zone or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, the two of them? Maybe they became friends.
Yeah. Here's a quote that I always love about her.
Yes, Superman is still—he's still trying to take the fight away from Smallville, but they keep bringing it back.
Well, no one died there, guys. Like, so anyone who could.
Yeah, it was just a train blew up. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to fight that Kryptonian with that knife.
No.
I don't think that's going to work.
A good death is its own reward.
Oh, that might come back later.
I'm sorry, guys, that I keep quoting this movie so much, but there's so many good dialogue here that,
Yeah, the dialogue in Man of Steel is not as good as Batman v Superman, but it's still pretty good.
I mean, look, listen, I love David Goyer, but like Chris Terrio is far more superior.
On another level. But I think this is cool in this Smallville sequence that the Kryptonians, like Zod and his crew, they ultimately have to retreat. Like the military and Superman, they get the upper hand here. Feor is like taking missiles and stuff. She is very powerful.
She's like, I'm Superwoman. Like, I don't need to be afraid. And
the military jets and Zod's ship are kind of battling up in the air. There's a lot going on. She did get knocked
out by it, so I'm glad that she was actually like, you know what, I'm not all that powerful.
I mean, she still took it though. She took it like a champ. It came right at her. It might have buried her in the ground, but she can handle it.
Let me look at the comments in the meantime and see what people have been saying. Small super seed for Henry. This is let's see. This is great commentary so far, Rebecca, and Annie. Great job so far. Thank you, Kenny.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching with us.
Yeah.
There's a shot right here where the cape kind of comes into the camera. Zack Snyder was actually the one who put the cape in. Like he manually put the cape. So I just wanted to mention another cape shot. Just another great cape shot.
It's a good cape. Kenneth says, "Wow, the suit looks great in 4K UHD, even in dark lighting." Well, it's almost like as if like they consciously made this suit to look that way.
Yeah, it's almost like they have screen tests for costumes that they go through before they start shooting.
I know there was one version of the suit where like the yellow was not behind the S, and I'm glad that they did keep it in somehow. It would have been a little weirdish.
Yeah, it's very faint, the yellow, but it's still there. It's still your classic Superman.
This man is not our enemy. Yeah.
I like that. That's a nice moment between the two of them. Because Clark would probably grow up respecting the military and respecting, the law.
Well, small towns, they usually, that's where a lot of, I read a study somewhere where they said that a lot of soldiers come from like the, small cities.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, poor Martha.
Her house is wrecked. Her truck got there. She doesn't have a truck anymore. No, she doesn't have a roof.
Nice suit, son. But we don't have a home anymore.
My house is completely wrecked, but I'm glad the photos made it.
Yeah. Good Lord. Could you imagine if like her only photos of Jonathan had
been, man, destroyed? That would have been so sad.
Yeah. in the Andy cut of the Man of Steel, things are,
a little more grim.
Grim, yeah.
Yeah, I think Clark can fix her house. I don't think it's going.
I wonder if he's a good painter.
I bet so. I think Clark can do anything. See, Lois found the house. She was like, "Take me to the Kent farm." She knew exactly where to go. Oh man, those Kryptonians, they are looking fierce.
Because I've located the Codex. He has a good voice as an actor. He
does. He has a very good.
Have you seen his Lex episode on Smallville?
I'm sure I have, but it's been a long time since I've watched.
Yeah, he was a good Lex.
There's a little look inside the Codex, what that looks like.
I hope that one day Clark can get it out. You know what? The Codex can be used to do New Krypton.
Well, depending on the writer's choice, I think you could probably do something more with it. But I just like it as a metaphor that he's carrying the people of Krypton with him.
I like that too. So, for me, I won't be disappointed if they never get it out of him.
He's literally carrying the people of Krypton.
Yeah, exactly. And not just on his chest.
Literally and biologically, he is carrying the people of Krypton. Those ships are scary too. They look like
it makes me think of Did you say spider?
It looks like the John Peters Superman.
Oh my god!
I think that's intentional, maybe.
It probably is.
Man, I love General Swanwick so much.
Yeah,
I really do.
it's like a good space dad.
Yes, almost like a good space dad.
I'm horrible. Someone cancel me already.
But I like that he's always been open to not like he's always been open to Superman. Like he never treats him as like this.
Yeah, no, he was never like hostile against it. He was just like, you know what? Who are you? We need to know who you are.
Yeah, he's just trying to figure him out. Yeah.
I do think one of the wastes of this film is Emil Hamilton, that he doesn't get to continue after this film.
Well, he does serve a purpose. Like they have to. Well,
I want him to come back. I want him.
Yeah.
I want him to I mean, they have Star Labs in the DCU. Oh, now we get to get more.
Who's Superman going to go to when he gets sick or something? That's usually Dr. Hamilton's purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you were in Metropolis this day, and you saw that coming down in the sky. They are much calmer than I would be.
Yeah, they're way too calm. This is where I'm like, Zack, come on, you should have had someone losing their mind here. Now, is this Chicago? Like, which city did they film?
I think a lot of Metropolis stuff is shot in Chicago.
Well,
which is funny because Nolan used Chicago for Gotham a lot.
Yeah, but at least Zack was able to use like Chicago in a way where like it doesn't feel like
it's very different.
This came out just after Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, like a year later, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's Dr. Hamilton who's like, I know what they're doing. I think they are terraforming Earth.
Oh, good Lord.
Now, here's where a lot of destruction happens, is from that ship, is from the Black Zero.
But this is what would happen during alien invasion if they wanted to take over our planet.
Yeah, they would come for us. And
it's just so crappy that if they have, it's just like people don't crap on the first Avengers movie for doing all that. But like for some reason, like, oh my God, Man of Steel is just, like a destruction porn film. And I'm like, guys, what do you think an alien invasion would look like?
Well, Zod doesn't care as long as he's able to accomplish his goals. He doesn't care about Earth life as long as like he can rebuild his people. So Zod's not going to care about, being delicate about everything. That's why they have to stop him. Is because he doesn't care. I like these graphics though. Like the military has some pretty good graphics to help them know what's going on. Like that's impressive technology that they're like, we can show you kind of not an X-ray, like X-ray vision.
Superman on top. Superman.
See, I think Lois has been dropping it. Like his name is Superman.
She's driving around in a cop car, being like, Superman. His name is Superman. His name is Superman. So she's driving around using the sirens or whatever. So Superman. His name is
Superman. Call him Superman. Oh, I love that shot where he's like walking towards them. So good.
Mm-hmm. And also it's it's a beautiful. I mean, because Henry Cavill shows is so beautiful, like just him walking towards anything. Yeah, it's just like
I like the attention to detail that General Swanwick has like an ID badge on his chest. Like he had to have taken a picture with his like military hat on.
Well, what a good thing that I hopefully there was no flash photography because I wonder what would happen to his eyes.
I mean, who knows? Who knows how that would affect him? Let's just hope nobody had a fire around. Nobody was smoking.
Yeah, or
while he was
maybe a little more. Oh, look at how! Oh my God, she is
a teenage girl at this point.
Yeah. There you go, guys. This is the icon shot when he like all the trailers were using.
I love the way they show flight because it's mimicking a real life scientific thing with jets with the speed of sound. So it looks like that. Like you can create that look in the real world, and they just adapted that for Superman when he hits the speed.
Exactly. like he would break the sound barrier. So
right. And Supergirl has adapted that look for flight as well. So they've.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Man of Steel is an inspiration for what they do on Supergirl.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if Supergirl got to be like instead of like ripping up Man of Steel, imagine if Supergirl could like actually lean into a different showrunner before who like never wanted to acknowledge.
Okay.
So you know what I mean.
By the way, awesome cape shot from behind of Superman.
Yes.
Want to acknowledge that.
I love that she's in a flight suit now as well. Like again, it makes me think of her in the military.
Did you know that I cosplayed as?
I know. I saw like I remember like I think you posted like a memory of it like a year ago or something like that. I remember I've seen you as Lois Lane on my. This is amazing.
I bought a flight suit off of Amazon, and I had my hair dyed to try to match Amy Adams's hair color in this. I got pretty close, so that was the time I cosplayed as Lois Lane. I had a little Lois Lane.
Well, I hope the one that you get to meet. If you meet Amy Adams, are you going to cosplay as her, or like are you gonna?
I mean, I still have that flight suit somewhere. I have the flight suit in the boot somewhere. I'd have to re-dye my hair. That would probably be a little awkward though. Like if I like cosplayed as her when I met her, that'd be a little. I don't know. I'd feel.
Actually, would be flattered.
I'd feel weird about it. Oh, look at the blue when General Zod turns around. The Genesis chamber is really pretty. It's a little creepy, but it's pretty visual.
Well, I think it's alien to us because like we don't have anything like that. So of course it looks like. See, like underneath one of those like terraforming machines, there is like a free light thing that does like where people were like, "Oh my god, it's not a Brainiac." I'm like, I could see that.
Yeah, I think some of the Kryptonian stuff is Brainiac-ish. I think this sequence where Superman has to fight the is this the World Engine that he's fighting? One
of them, yeah.
I think this is more of an homage to John Peters with the spider.
Yeah.
At the end of
Good
Superman
Lord, John Peters, he's a weird dude.
If you've never watched the video of Kevin Smith detailing his meeting with John Peters about writing a new Superman movie, you should look that up. It's probably on YouTube.
Also watch
the
documentary as well. Whatever happened to the death and return of Superman Lives. Whatever it was called. It's a good documentary. Made John Schnepp rest in peace. But that was like it's a good piece of documentary. Yeah,
that story that Kevin Smith tells is really quite funny.
I don't want him in a suit. I don't want him to fly, and I want to fight a giant spider. So no tides, no flights. What the hell?
Yeah, some of that was not. He didn't have a lot of good ideas.
I love that Perry is so responsible. He's trying to protect as many of his staff as he can. Like, he takes Jenny and Lombard.
Yeah, he cares about his people. He's the leader there at the Daily Planet. That's his responsibility. Those are his people. Jenny's wearing purple there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Daily Planet journalist thing.
Well, then I'm doing it wrong. I need to wear more purple in that case. So
yes. I like this. They show everyday people being heroes, like the cops directing them out, trying to save all these people.
And somewhere out there is a rich playboy billionaire.
He's seeing all this go down.
Yeah.
And he's getting.
I think really it is still so genius that they incorporated. Oh.
Well, Bruce probably would have seen it. I mean, it's just a natural way to work him into the story.
Yeah, and I love that he's in it.
Even in Jor-El's death, he has a face-off with Zod. That AI is like, you murdered me.
Oh, he said the G word. Oh no, he didn't.
One thing I like about General Zod versus like the Terrence Stamp General Zod is that he's always wearing his armor. He's always commanding his people. He acts like a general. Like he acts like somebody who's in the military. For me, Terrence Stamps is General Zod, even though he's great in those films. He never feels like a general. Here, General Zod, Michael Shannon Zod feels like a general.
The irony when Terrence Stamps Zod meets like a general, say, "So you are a general?" I'm like, "Yeah, more than you are."
Yeah, I don't know. He always feels like a military guy.
I will
to me.
harvest the codes from your son's corp. Like that
Oh,
is my god.
He doesn't let up.
I will rebuild Krypton with his bones. My
There goes-
god.
There goes the AI. Killed him again. That's Jor-El's death number 2.
But at least the final time when Clark got to see, at least Jor-El got to see Clark one last time.
Yeah.
Run, Clark, run! John Peters is trying to get you.
John Peters is attacking you.
No, John L. Or John L. Or John P.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this sequence is like the coughing doesn't sound very authentic, and so some of the sequence is not great. But this part when he has to fly up into the energy, I guess, is really cool.
Oh my god! Like this, imagine you're getting closer and closer towards the light. Oh.
When people say these films are dark, I disagree so much, because these moments where like people are struggling together, that's really inspirational to me.
We're not gonna leave you. We're not gonna leave you.
Like this is hopeful to me that these people who have no superpowers are trying to save each other. And are
but Rebecca, everything has to be just there's no casualty, there's no destruction, there's nothing.
Everybody's all smiles and happy times.
Yeah, genocide. Wow, sorry. No one, please don't gif that of me. Please don't do that.
He's mocking the idea that you have to be happy in all situations. Yeah. That's the context for that.
Now, this is the infamous shot of where he supposedly looks like Christopher Reeve for a second.
He does a little bit. I will grant that. I think he does a little bit.
Let me look closely now.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen.
I just love this. Perry stays with Jenny. He holds her hand. He gives her comfort. She's terrified.
And he grabs her hat, because
I love that so much.
Okay, let's see.
I mean, right there, I think, yeah.
Okay,
that close up a little bit looks like that.
That was genius from Fly. Don't look, just fly. Fly into the light. Ugh.
And they have no idea, Perry and Jenny, they have no idea Superman is somewhere on the other side of the world doing this. They think they're going to die. And Superman saves them. So good. The music is really good there. The acting is good.
And all Perry does is he looks into her eyes. He never looks behind him once.
He's really dialed in and connected with her.
Good Lord, anyone who hates this film, go suck an egg. You don't know what good movies are.
We can disagree if you dislike this film, but I think you're wrong. But
this is Guardian.
But you can dislike it if you want to. But I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. This is what I love so much about our friendship. We get to bond over these films, and instead of focus on films that we don't like, we actually just talk about films that we do like.
Well, why would you waste your time talking about a film you don't like?
Now we may have to do that very soon, though.
Well, that's going to be part of a series.
Yeah,
it'll be a way to say goodbye to that film. Or yes. I don't even consider it a film. I think it's more
it's not a film.
It's a movie.
It's not even a movie. It is. It's a USB hard drive that should never have been played.
Well,
this dialogue is a little I kind of laughed a little bit.
Yeah, some of this scene is not great because why couldn't Lois figure this out?
Do that.
But I think the reason that Lois is not able to figure it out is because they need somebody to stay on the ship. Lois can't stay on the ship because if she does, she's going to get sucked up into the Phantom Zone too. So they need Emil Hamilton to stay there. Oh, Fair is ticked. She is ticked.
Yeah, I almost want her and Hardy to have a story in the Phantom Zone. They just keep fighting each other.
I like to think they become friends. I think they start off as enemies.
After 200 years, yeah, probably.
Yeah, they become best buds, and they're hanging out.
Oh, the hair was blowing, and she's just looking
so good. Good close-ups on the actors in these sequences.
There we go.
I like that Lois gets to see him crash into the ship.
Yeah.
That she knows that
No.
he's okay.
See, that's the first time he's ever afraid in his movie. Like we see Zod like feared of his mind.
He's a little hesitant.
Oh.
See, Superman has to make a choice here. He has to use his free will to make that choice.
And like you said, Krypton had his chance.
Yeah.
Krypton tried to commit genocide. Oh, well, there's an Easter egg here soon.
They might crash through a couple buildings. That's unfortunate. Huh. But hopefully those buildings have been evacuated by now.
Yeah,
and the Genesis chamber, I don't think was working at the time, so a lot of people have questions about that.
Well, are you kidding me? Are people complaining about that too?
Well, I think some people think that there were babies or something in the Genesis chamber, but the ship had been in the ground for like 20,000 years. I don't think there was anything functional in there anymore. Oh, it took a scientific genius to turn that dial. But they finally got it working. Oh, Lois. She always has to fly out of something. Fall off of something.
Oh.
Yeah. Feora is just not going to put up with your crap.
She's like, I'm going up against Hardy. Like, I'm
Stop annoying me with those bullets.
They probably tickle her at the very least.
They almost have to have a little bit of impact, but they don't probably hurt her.
Well, like a bazooka would probably because that's like nuclear weapon, right? So they would have to feel some. Oof.
A lot of these military guys are just annoying her.
Yeah.
Oh, she grabs the guy's neck. Oh. She's vicious. She is cold-hearted. Emil Hamilton really is a hero in this film.
He is.
He hits that.
A good death. His own reward.
Yeah.
Oh!
In your face, Feora.
He's like, I said that. You stole my life.
In your face. I'm actually glad that they didn't take the easy way out to use the Phantom Zone to defeat everyone. I'm okay with it because that's just when I went into Man of Steel for the first time, I figured they would use the Phantom Zone to defeat them. So I'm glad that it's not the end of the story. The Phantom Zone is not the end.
The drums,
And I like the use of how Superman flies with Lois here because it's not easy. It's not romantic like in Superman the movie.
No, exactly. Look what's happened to his skin. He's literally being pulled into the Van Zone.
That shows how strong he is that he can withstand that.
Oof.
That flying looks good too. That's going to hold up 50 years from now. That wire work is really good.
What do you mean 50 years? It's going to hold up for 100 years.
Yeah. That still looks good. Almost 9 years later? Came out in 2013?
8 years later.
Yeah.
In June, it will be 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I was never very good at math, let's be honest.
Me neither. Chloe's moment. There we go.
The only thing I don't like about this film is the line after they kiss. Something about kissing a human. It doesn't make any sense.
It's all downhill after the first kiss.
Yeah, I hate that line. If they had just removed that line, it would have been perfect.
Is it because it's so on the nose? But hey, Clark isn't.
It's because it almost sounds demeaning. The way, if you think about the line too hard, you're like, well, but you're kissing a human.
The kiss should have just been longer instead.
Just kiss each other and don't say anything. That would have been the movie would be perfect for me.
Look at a defeated general.
Oh, he's on his knees. He's on his knees.
Who's kneeling now?
Yeah.
Philippe. Oh, look. Sorry. Look at that.
Man. I like that. What his motivation is. It's very clear why General Zod does what he does.
Yeah, it's he's going against, he's he has failed his only existence.
And his whole purpose in life. This is what he was bred to do, was to protect his people.
Of course you would snap, but of course you would snap. If you were only created just to protect and serve your people.
And this is the guy, this is the kid of the guy
And now
disliked at the end of Krypton.
I have no people. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try not to quote as much from these films.
That is a really good line, though. I will say that is a good line.
Oh.
From me.
Oof.
He's like they basically made General Zod like a bulldog here. Like he's just going after him however he has to. I love the way Superman hovers up.
Yeah, right?
Yes. The
cape.
Yeah, the cape is so good. Because he doesn't just stand up, he just hovers up. I love that so much. This is where we're going to start to see connections to Batman v Superman with the heat vision when Zod comes in here. Oh, and the score is so good here. The big Zod theme comes in, the arcade track.
Oh, God. Sorry, I get too
you timed it. Right?
Hold on. Now we're about to see something. An Easter egg.
Oh, with the Batman.
Yeah. Keep calm and call Batman.
Yeah.
So at one point, Batman had his classic symbol. Like he had like.
Or is that just the interpretation of like people in Gotham City who are like, I'm gonna make the symbol look like this.
Somewhere there, Bruce is. He's standing there watching.
Yeah, he's over there somewhere.
And he's gonna be pissed.
He is not. Bruce Wayne is having the worst day. Much like most of these people, or I would say all of these people are having the worst day.
Yeah, like we.
Everyone is having a bad day.
Oh, there's a LexCorp.
There's another LexCorp.
It's the Action Comics font. I have never realized that until now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, the cape. Oh, the cape.
I really like in this sequence how they show how the impact of the hits. I mean, it looks really powerful for these Kryptonians to hit each other.
Like it's almost like I almost see like a flash of light.
Yeah. You really feel those hits.
Favorite shots on the trailer, right, where they're flying toward each other, and there's a neat boost to gold.
The Blaze Comics.
Yeah. See if we can see it.
Yeah, look at him, like Zod's just climbing up this building.
It's a bulldog. You're right.
Yeah. I like that Superman has the high ground, and
there was the Blaze
collision.
Comics.
Yeah, that collision is so good.
Oh. I'm sorry, it's the sign behind him.
Yeah, it's a subtle joke.
This joke has been.
They use all of the locations that they have to fight each other.
I would say
the beams of the building.
Yeah, if Zack ever directed if I made a film and Zack directed it, I'm like, okay, he's gonna use location filming. Good. Where did you train? On a farm?
It's true though. He probably did. He trained on the farm.
Oof.
Zod's like,
no more CGI costume.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm gonna fight you as we are. He doesn't have his sweet cape though.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Clark thing.
Which is to his detriment though, because Zod spins him around with his cape though.
By the way, Supergirl fans, there's a particular shot from season 1 that they used from this film.
Right there. Yep.
Poof, poof.
Basically stole it shot for shot.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I like the nod to Man of Steel there, but it's funny.
I love that, like when the way Zack films like the flight sequence, it feels like we're flying on his shoulders.
Yeah, we're like flying with him. Yeah, you get to see his point of view.
Now, did you ever see Man of Steel in IMAX? Because I know you watch films in IMAX a lot.
No, I think I just saw it all in the 2D theater because I don't think anything was shot in IMAX. Batman v Superman was shot in IMAX, but this one. So if it's actually shot with an IMAX camera, I'll try to go see it in IMAX.
Utopia Casino, is that a nod to something?
I think it is, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it's.
Oh no, another Easter egg.
Yep, we'll see a satellite here in a second. Wayne Foundation or Wayne Enterprises.
It's the Marvel Foundation because the W is upside down. It looks like an M.
Wayne, I think it's Wayne Enterprises. I think that was a nod to Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, I think Zack said, re-entering the atmosphere, and they just like
scientifically accurate.
Oof! Here we go.
That's what Bruce is seeing.
LexCorp.
Yep. Bruce and Lois see the same thing. I love this location of this scene, this final confrontation.
I should ask David Jones or Rachel from Batman Podcast like if they visit this train station a lot.
I just like it because it sort of looks like Greek mythology to me. It almost has like a Parthenon vibe. So you have these two.
You're right. Now that I think about it, it doesn't look like a look at that broken tower there over there. There's gold flowers, stuff like that. Yeah, that is very.
Because I know in Batman v Superman, Alfred references gods hurl thunderbolts, and so it's sort of Greek mythology here. And I also like that this family sort of looks like what a family would look like if Clark and Lois had them. Because the lady has kind of reddish hair, and the guy has dark hair, so it looks sort of like Clark and Lois with kids.
My God, like you picked up on a lot more things that I have. So okay, Lois, you ran here fast, girl. Like you ran.
She got a cab. She said, "Hey, somebody, take me to wherever they are." And
I'm Lois. There. Oh. But God forbid that he didn't that he wasn't smiling here because he just killed his last connection to Krypton.
Yeah, doesn't that make you happy? I mean,
yeah, it's like whoever says that Henry Cavill cannot act, go stand in the corner and then sit until you're 65 because this is acting. He lost his home planet again.
What was your first thought when you saw this? When you saw him? What was your reaction?
One of my friends one of my former friends, he had seen the film and said, "Eddie, be prepared for a very big moment in this film that you might have problems with." I'm like, okay, so I watched this film. I'm like, Zod is destroying everything. He's not giving Clark any other chance of what to do. I was okay with it. I supported it. And now we know why. I think that was like the order sort of how he gets that no killing rule. And because for me, I'm like, you know what? I had no problem with the Zod scene.
I didn't either. I remember watching it in the theater and thinking, "Oh, Superman fans are going to hate this."
Effing stupid. That was cringy.
But once he started screaming out of agony for having had to do that, I was like, oh, "Okay, that's Superman." Like I had no problem with it once he was sort of. Grieving.
I grew up in Kansas, General. I'm about as American as about.
Just tell him where you live, dude. Just give him the address of your mom's house. But General Swanwick's probably not going to give his secret away, even if he found out where. Because he might have some secrets of his own. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Rebecca, go just have an Oreo. Don't worry.
I should have brought some chocos with me.
Is this Carol as in the Star Sapphire?
I don't think it's supposed to be. I think she borrows the last name, but I like to think that's Carol Ferris.
Yeah.
In my head canon.
And she's cute. I like it. How she kind of got to be there before she became a supervillain.
I like her character. She goes through, she's in Batman v Superman as well. She's with General Swanwick. I like her character.
Clark, sweetie, glasses. You can't walk around. Oh, first of all, that shirt is so tight on him.
That shirt fits him so well, though. He looks really good in that shirt.
Yeah, but he needs to
This sequence with little Clark and the dog was shot by Zack Snyder.
I could tell. I could see that he's running around with the camera.
Yeah, there's pictures of him with the camera following them around. I think that's really neat.
Oh. What's a good ship name for Jonathan and Martha?
I don't know if they have one.
Jarfa?
Maybe.
Monafen? No.
I think Jartha is probably your best bet there.
Yeah. Oh. Here comes that little putting his hands on his little hips. He's so tiny. Oh my goodness. And
that's a cute moment with the dog. The dog's like, "Hey man, we're playing here."
Yeah. Oh my God. I hope we one day get to see Crypto.
That would be amazing. I don't know how you work Crypto into this universe though. I guess he could be an experiment going on.
This was one of my other really annoying thing. I'm he's riding his bike without the glasses.
Yeah, but nobody. I mean, I don't think at this point they have a lot of close-up shots of Superman.
Fair. That's like the green jacket. Sports.
He's looking good in that suit. His first day at the Daily Planet, he's looking good.
Oh,
that shot of him like putting the glasses on right before the doors close.
Yeah,
really good. Really well executed. Do you think that Lois suggested the Daily Planet job to him?
Yes, I think she was the one who kind of tried to help him. Like, hey, you know what? You need something. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was Lois.
It was either Lois or Clark was like, hey, Lois works at the Daily Planet, and I kind of like her. I think I'll get a job here.
Look, she is smitten. Amy Adams, you teenage girl.
She played it really well.
Welcome to the planet. Welcome to the planet.
I think that's more Amy Adams than Lois, though. I think when she looked at him, I think that was just Amy Adams being Amy Adams.
Glad to be here, Lois. See, Lois is such a big key that she gets the final line of the this movie.
Such a good ending. Such a good ending.
Directed by Zack Snyder.
Yeah, that ending is really, and I like it that it ends on Clark. He is the Man of Steel, and so it's good that we get that, because normally that going to the first day of the Daily Planet would be the beginning of a Superman story. So I like that this one sort of flips it, that his first day at the Daily Planet is the end of the film, is the end of the story. So I like that. You can watch this film and not need another follow-up to it. Like, it's its own contained film. If you never got a sequel, this would be a perfect film.
Yeah, it's almost like with for me with Smallville, like when he puts on the cape and the final shot we see of him is running through the camera doing the shirt. We know where the story goes from there. Like, he is Superman now. He's protecting the world, this movie is so good. I love Man of Steel with all my heart. I own it on Blu-ray. I think I used to own it on DVD, but I think may have gotten broken by mistake, but I own it digitally. It
was Michael Wilkinson.
Cool.
I thought so.
Let's see. Let's go to the comments a little bit and see what people have been saying. Let's see. A lot of comments are from Kenneth, so I will read them off a little bit.
Yeah, Kenny, thanks for watching with us.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, I hope you enjoyed watching Man of Steel with us, and thanks for spending your Saturday with us.
Yeah, but listen, I gotta give a little bit of a shout out to Kenneth here, because Kenneth has been. Listen, I pay attention. I know you've been with our show since we're going way back. I saw you following the Flash Party when we were in season 0. You've been such a good supporter listener, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the film with us. So we're gonna read a lot of some of your comments here. I don't get the complaints about both Henry Cavill's and Tyler Hoechlin's size playing Superman. If you can act well, size should not matter playing a superhero.
Yeah, I don't think size matters with the physical, because Superman is strong. Like, he doesn't have to be like a huge dude. I mean, I like that Henry Cavill's Superman is a big guy. Just visually, it looks good. But theoretically, like, he doesn't have to be a super strong guy, because his strength is in his Kryptonian genes and the yellow sun. So he doesn't have to be a big dude.
Exactly. Let's see. We have Supergirl's fight in her shows pays homage to Man of Steel in many scenes, just in Supergirl season 1 alone. Yeah, I mean, Man of Steel is a good example of how to do Kryptonian fights. Yeah. So, when she's beating the beloved crap out of Astra, and now because Erica Durance now plays Allura, now in my head, all I see is Elizabeth Noyes just punching the hell out of Erica Durance. Let's see what else. I never hated to see. You know why? Because in some of the past comics, Superman has killed using the Phantom Projector. Yeah.
Superman is killed in the comics. It's not like that has never happened before.
But you and I, we've talked about this before off air. But it's like people say, Batman doesn't kill.
That's happened.
Really?
It's and a lot of times when Superman does kill, it is General Zod that he has to kill. So that was fitting for Man of Steel.
Yeah. So that it would have been maybe one thing if Clark had killed Lex. That would have been very that would have been a little shocking. But for me, I'm listen. I understand if he has to kill Zod, because Zod is a beast. Or as Rebecca puts it brilliantly, He's a bulldozer. I mean, look at the scene where Clark is flying down from the roof, and Zod is like just jumping towards the building. They're trying to go after him.
Yeah.
Like he is a beast.
He's ruthless, and he tells Cal, I'm never gonna stop. You're gonna have to stop me. Either you die or I die. So
let's see.
He had to make a choice.
What if Zod transferred his mind like Jor-El and becomes Brainiac? That would have been something.
That would be definitely a different take for sure.
Let's see. John Patrick Falk. Hey guys, everyone! New episode of The Flash return. Our second, enjoy the 2-hour series premiere of Superman and Lois on February 23rd. Good.
If you're interested in Supergirl Radio's thoughts on Superman and Lois, we will be doing a pilot pod after Superman and Lois premieres.
Rebecca, podcast. We come on, pod. I don't like that word.
I know. I used to think it was hipster doofus like to say that, but now I've kind of leaned into it. Now I just say pod.
And also for Superman and Lois, I mean, listen, Todd Helbing and his team can deny it all they want if they want to, but Superman and Lois looks so inspired by Man of Steel, so
Yeah, visually it does for sure. It has that sort of same aesthetic, which I was surprised by. It doesn't look like the rest of the CW shows. It
does not. It almost looks like a little bit more like what Flash used to look like in season 1, but now it's obviously filmed differently.
It's more cinematic looking.
Yeah, but
which I like. I think that's cool.
I like it too. But listeners, so here's the thing. As you can tell, we're Snyder fans. We're huge DC fans. We're fans of the DCEU, and we're excited for the Snyder Cut. So because of that, we can proudly announce that next Saturday, February 13th, at 12 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a live and wired commentary on Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice,
the Ultimate
Cut.
Yeah.
Together here on the DC Podcast YouTube channel.
So get comfortable because that's 3.5 hours.
Yes. So I will probably not be drinking as much like I did today. But yeah, no, look, here's the thing. We
can take restroom breaks if you need them.
But then we have to synchronize them in that case.
Yeah, we'd have to let each other.
Yeah,
go for a break.
You know what? We should do a fun overlay of be right back. Stand by.
Keep watching the movie. We'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly. So, but here's the thing. What I love about these podcasts so much is that Flash covers the Flash, Supergirl covers Supergirl, and so on. Legends cover Legends, and Black Lightning does whatever. Covers Black Lightning. Why did I say whatever? But you get the point. The fact is that we are all DC fans here on the network, and we love that we can use these platforms to talk about other DC media, and especially for me and Rebecca. Again, our friendship goes a lot into our love for Superman and the Justice League and the DC universe and so on, and the fact that we love this director so much, who had his vision so. He was so destroyed because Warner Brothers wanted to think a different way, and it was the wrong way because look what happened. So we definitely want to make sure that we have an epic saga leading up to the Snyder Cut that we're going to cover as well. So that's why what we knew that once we cover Man of Steel, we got to do BVS, and I said to Rebecca, we gotta do the Ultimate Cut, and she instantly said, "Yes, we're gonna cover it."
You have to,
yeah, because it has some of the best. If you love Clark as a reporter and so on, that's some of the best stuff we've ever seen in film.
I agree. Yeah, there's some good journalist Clark in BVS.
So, and I do believe the Ultimate Cut streams on HBO Max. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
There we go.
I'll double check it while we're here, but I believe that is right.
But while you're looking up that, we want to promote something that is, we know that is very special to Zack and also to the Snyder Cut movement, which is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and specifically the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund. There's a link in the description below of this video where you can go to the fund and donate, because the Autumn Snyder the Tribute Fund is one of a big crucial part to the release Snyder Cut movement. And we all know the tragic story of how Zack lost his daughter during the final period of doing Justice League, and he had to step away be with his family at that difficult time. And and that what this movement has accomplished together is to raise more awareness about how difficult mental health can be for young kids out there, young adults. And so that's why we are big supporters of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and we want you guys to be aware of it. And if you can make a donation, please do. And it's an organization that we might work with in the coming future. Who knows? But we want to use these. We're gonna use all our live streams for the Snyder Cut to promote Autumn's tribute fund, because it sucks. It really sucks and hurts my heart whenever I see a news story about a young kid who gave up their life so at a young age, when we as a society need to have better resources and better help for young adults and kids that struggle with mental health or going through something difficult, and make sure that they get the help they need before it's too late. So if you can make a donation, click on the link in the description below, and the
fund has already met its goal, but let's see if we can go past it. Let's see if we can raise some money for them to make that a bigger donation.
They had raised 500,000 last time I checked, right?
I think the Autumn Snyder Fund, I think, had a goal of 50,000, but the Release the Snyder Cut movement as a whole has raised over $500,000.
Yeah, I think we should hit $1 million before the year is over. So for Zack, for this great message that this organization stands for, about this mission, not message, sorry, this great mission that they stand for, because lives are lost every day to different causes, but it for me, as someone who has tried to commit his own life before, it holds a special place in my heart. So, and I'm glad that Zack and this movement were able to, because it wasn't just about getting a movie out there and really respecting the importance of artistic integrity, but it was about remembering that a life was lost in this man's life, and in Deborah's life too. A family lost a loved one, and I'm forever disgusted that Warner Brothers did what they did. They took advantage of Zack having to go through a horrible loss, and I will never forgive him for that.
Well, the good news is that justice is served, and a pun very much intended, that things have corrected themselves, and that a lot of money has been raised in Autumn's memory, and it's going to help other people. So some good came of it, even though it's a tragic thing that happened. Some good came out of it, so I think it's a good thing to celebrate.
Yes, I can't top that. So what Rebecca said. So ladies and gentlemen, remember next week on February 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern, Rebecca and I will be back here to do a live commentary for BVS, the Ultimate Edition, and we want you to join us, as many of you as possible. So we're gonna put we will put out an event so we're gonna schedule an event for YouTube today, so you will be aware of it, and we're gonna promote it like crazy, because the Snyder Cut is coming. We're next week. We're gonna be 1 month and 5 days away. 1 month and 5 days and 1 month away from the Snyder Cut,
and we might be close to a trailer soon. So get ready for that.
Well, there's rumblings go around online that the Valentine's Day is gonna be very special. I hate Valentine's Day. I think it's garbage. Listen. Love is great. I just don't think we need a specific day to celebrate.
You should celebrate people you love all year round. Every day. Every day. Not just
but if we can celebrate love with a special trailer,
that'd be the best Valentine's Day ever.
2:14.
Yeah, I think that's
it's
the original runtime of the Snyder Cut.
I am.
You just got that?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
But like,
It,
you know,
it has multiple meetings, as most Zack Snyder things do.
yeah. So like, you know, I know tomorrow is a Super Bowl, but like next Sunday is gonna be way more epic. If this is allegedly happening. But,
Yeah,
you know,
it's just a rumor at this point, but I think there's a pretty good chance, probably.
yeah. So so yeah, I'm gonna just go check the comments one last time to see if I see anything else. You know, I'm just gonna highlight this. You know, great shows always, guys. Thank you, Kenny, and thank you everyone who tuned in live today. I again, it means you know, it's been so much fun doing these live shows on YouTube. You know, I mean, look, Supergirl Radio was the inspiration. I want Rebecca Morgan to have full credit. Like, you know, like you guys are the reason why I want to do more things on camera and do more things live and so on. And like, listen, I mean, you know, we're you know, one goal for me is that we're gonna have 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. So, you know, let me become one of those YouTubers again. Like, you know, so if you like this video,
tell your friends.
yeah, tell your friends, hit that like button down below, and if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can be aware of when we go live with a brand new video or go live with a brand new stream. What have I become?
We are those people now.
Yeah. Well, at least we're the good kind of YouTubers, not like kind of like, you know, the YouTubers who abuse our platforms and.
Okay, let's not get into it.
I'm no names, but you know,
we love Jessica Chastain here.
yes,
on DCTV podcast.
Disclaimer: DCTV podcast is welcome Jessica Chastain with open arms, and we love her. We support her. We appreciate the great talent that she brings to screen.
Yes.
And it would be a disgrace not to acknowledge that.
Yes. You should, if you don't know what we're talking about, just do a YouTube search for Grace Randolph and Jessica Chastain. It's our new favorite thing.
Yeah, like, I mean, listen, okay, just to kind of get a little bit of backstory, and then we're going to wrap it up. Last night, Rebecca and I were doing a little bit of a test, and I don't know why I thought of this, but I was like, Rebecca, have you ever seen these clips? So I sent her, like it's basically, like a montage of Grace dragging Jessica Chastain through the mud, and we don't know why. But like Rebecca and I we laughed so hard we were crying, and here's the thing: Rebecca's reaction made me laugh even more because I'm like, oh my god, she really hasn't seen this before. So Grace, if you're watching this, thank you for the entertainment. But it's also
we are pro Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome on our shows anytime.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know.
You know what? She should play the final villain in Supergirl season 6.
Oh, that would be epic. I'd be into that.
And I'm like, you know what? If Carl loses, I won't. I won't. I'm not gonna be angry. Jessica Chastain.
It's Jessica Chastain. You can't not cheer for it. So, so thank you, Grace Randolph, for the entertainment. But we are also pro Jessica Chastain on here.
Exactly. So, but Rebecca, please, first of all, before I let you plug, a big congratulations to you and Morgan, because earlier this week you guys hit your 6-year anniversary of Supergirl Radio. So congratulations for 6 amazing years, and keep here for 6 great more years. So people, if they're watching right now and they're not aware what Supergirl Radio is, tell them what Supergirl Radio is. Tell them what's coming up and when they can find you on social media as well as the podcast.
Sure. Supergirl Radio is a podcast dedicated to the CW Supergirl TV series and all things Kara Zor-El. So if you like Supergirl comics or Supergirl the movie with Helen Slater, we talk about that occasionally. You can find us on supergirlradio.com. We're also on social media at Supergirl Radio on all of the platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And we are trying to get back into Supergirl comics now. We're also going to be talking, we're going to do a live stream on February 16th, talking about the comic book history of Leslie Lar, because we have a sneaking suspicion that a character named Leslie Lar is showing up on Superman and Lois on the CW. So we want to educate people about Leslie Lar because she is one of Supergirl's greatest foes in the Silver Age of Supergirl. So we want to go through those comics. So just to prepare people for if they see a Leslie Lar on the show, they'll know her comic book history. So we're going to be doing a lot of fun things, a lot of comic book things, and we're going to be getting back into live streaming. So check us out, supergirlradio.com.
Excellent stuff, and all the links will be in the show notes, of course, for that. As far as me, you can find me on here on the Flash Podcast, theflashpodcast.com. I'm gonna use that because I'm still learning a little bit more about StreamYard, you guys. So theflashpoint.com, we actually have a very fun episode coming out because on Wednesday on the 10th, we will have an episode out with covering the season 7 trailer and the season 8 news, as well as a bit of a controversy with the Flash right now. And then because what I want to do is I want Man of Steel, BVS, then maybe something else to be like I want them to come out like right after each other. So so there you go. So you can flashpoint.com is where you can get all the latest episodes, information about the Flash TV show, and more. And you can always email the Flash Podcast at theflashpoint@gmail.com. And we're all on social media at the Flash Podcast. So there you go. And as far as me, find me at Andrew Behbakht on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm also here on YouTube. I have a channel as well. I'm still working out what I'm going to do for type of content, but go subscribe at youtube.com/AndrewBehbakht. And I write for Screen Rant a lot, so I got a lot of Arrowverse, DCEU, MCU content there, and gonna be getting a little bit busier with them soon. So there's just go read my stuff there. TheMallPro.com, if you're a Marvel fan, of course, go check us out there. And then of course check out the entire DC Podcast Network at DCPodcast.com. And because I'm hoping Morgan is watching this, because I will. For you, Morgan, I will do the plugs, but we have amazing podcasts for The Flash, Supergirl, Legends Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Titans, Doom Patrol, Batwoman, Superman and Lois, Stargirl, Green Lantern, Strange Avenger, Justice League Dark, and DC After Dark at DCPodcast.com. Follow that on social media at DC Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Last but not least, subscribe to our mega feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play.
That was pretty good.
Okay, Morgan, I get it now. Like, I need to stop making shows. Never gonna happen. But also remember, we have a TeePublic store on DC Podcast with a lot of amazing merchandise for the Arrowverse, DCEU, a lot of great DC stuff. And so go check us out. There's all the links in the show notes. So click on there, because when you buy something from the store, not only do you support yourself as a great DC fan, but you support us, the DC Podcast Network, so we can keep making more podcasts and bringing more amazing content. And I think that will do it. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us today on this amazing live stream. Rebecca, it's been so much fun having you on as always. We're kicking ass. Like I said it to you as well a few days ago. Like, listen, we're like the world's finest of this network. Like,
we try to be.
Yeah, we have a Justice League of podcasting, but like you and I are the world's finest. So I'm just gonna put it out there. So yeah, I'm excited to once again, because I just want to show off your amazing work here. Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Cut, live audio commentary next week here on DC Podcast YouTube channel at 12 p.m. Eastern, February 13th. So join us then, and don't forget, go donate to Autumn Snyder's Tribute Fund on the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Link in the show notes as well. So go do that and get ready next week for the Ultimate Cut of Batman vs Superman. So from all of us on the Flash Podcast, and of course with Supergirl Radio's Rebecca Johnson, I'm Andy B, and we'll see you next time here on YouTube. Take care, everyone.